Hello, everybody, franchise Premier League fans. You have been waiting for, and now tonight we will deliver. This week is the final week of Season 4, the grand finals that caps off our season. The dynamic duo are here to cast the last and possibly most anticipated match in the FPL season. It is your play-by-play caster here, Kevin Dunk, and joining me on color, of course, is the one and only OG, True, and the two of us are backed up by the awesome Shivam on production, and the three of us are going to bring you into the FPL Grand Finals. We've been through the gauntlet. We've seen 8 teams go down to 4 in the quarters, and now it's just down to the final 2 after the semis. It's been a hard-fought battle for both of our finalists, and they absolutely showed us that they deserve to be here. Coming up as the fastest qualifier in the semifinal I've ever seen since casting for the FPL. It's the team that doesn't need a face to scare you. We have the Faceless, consisting of King of Spades, The Fool, Shane Data, 7gen, and I Am Atomic. These players survived a 5-game banger in the quarters and absolutely dominated their semifinals match to look strong coming into this match tonight. On the other side, we have the team that keeps cool under pressure, only dropping a single game since the gauntlet. We have Team Mint Ice Cubes, consisting of Concrete Muncher, Penne, Jellybean Jeff, Zig, and Frisky MMO. This team is coming in as the gauntlet from gauntlet underdogs into a possible favorite in the grand finals. So tonight, we were delayed a little bit from last week, but we are here to bring you the grand finals as all the blood, sweat, tears, practice, trash talk, and waiting are here to make it pay off as we get started here tonight. We're going to jump straight into the draft as I pass it off to True to take us away. For everyone here at the FPL, we are happy to bring you the grand finals tonight. We return, FPL fans. Welcome back to the show. We join myself, Kevin Dunk, my colorcaster True, and Shivam on production to bring you game 1 of the grand finals for FPL Season 4. It's the Mint Ice Cubes versus the Faceless. I believe it is. Yeah, it's the Faceless on the blue side, and on the red side it is Mint Ice Cubes. So both these teams already making it to the mid lane. Players, I'm sure, are hyped after a 1-week hiatus, a little bit of extra training time in the hyperbolic time chamber. But to all of our fans, thank you for joining us, and I'll pass it over to True. I think this is going to be a pretty interesting early game with this aggressive warding. How do we feel that this is going to go?
I mean, I'm not really seeing anything out of the ordinary for both of these teams. Like the setups on the champions, that's pretty typical. As far as the Faceless are concerned, I will say that the expectation for them is that this Wukong needs to get off the ground. I think if Wukong doesn't find an early advantage, then Faceless are really stuck waiting for their scaling to kick in, and that gives Mint a potential in because you have things like the Hecarim as well as Malphite, who can kind of just force things to happen, even early on post-6. So Faceless really relying on Wukong to just get those ganks going, get active, and likely work with I Am Atomic on this Blitzcrank to forced opportunities. I think there is some strong potential, at least for ganking mid lane, because you have that very immobile brand. So if they can force Flash from Jellybean Jeff early on, then that should be a point to push quite hard. But otherwise, the team setups are pretty normal. I will say, though, that 7gen with the Doran's Helm, right, very oriented to, I don't want to take damage, just want to be safe. I'm okay sitting back, getting shoved in a little. So I think it's an interesting call to just go for that super defensive item, but I think it also makes sense.
Yeah, I think so too. And going for the cleanse is very defensive, making sure they don't get, rooted up or stunned up by the double beat drop that is enabled by the Ashes Frost shot. Like that bot lane duo is pretty scary, and it counters the arrow as well. The one thing it can't counter, though, is the Malphite ulti. So in the late game team fights, I mean, even if you do have the cleanse up, if Malphite gets on top of you, it's cooked. So, Zig getting jumped on by the Wukong the Fool, making a very early move. Wait, the rocket grab hits, though. There is no fall of I Am Atomic, just a bit too far forward without 7gen, who wants to farm the wave. But now the wave is in a pretty dangerous position for Zig and Frisky, as the Fool cancels the recall to get a little bit more damage in. So with that knowledge, I think it's going to be Mint Ice Cubes, just choosing to continue playing towards their top side. I mean, Hecarim is there farming. I'm not sure. I guess Wukong did finish the clear pretty quickly. I'm a bit surprised. Or maybe they just didn't take their camps. Okay, they are down a few camps there, so they are going to go. That was an early move from them.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a hot second.
On the mini-map. It's so strange.
Yeah, it took a hot second for the Wukong to, like delay that a little bit. Wait, King of Spades getting quite low here.
Aggressive trades. The Ghost activated. Panay is running him down with the charge. Is there enough damage from the Rampage? There's not. Panay slowed under turret, but the flash into the seismic shard under turret gets Concrete Muncher the kill, but I think King of Spades wants him before then they catch up.
He wants him.
Oh, he wants him. That's one
more
auto.
Not
enough. That is heartbreak for King of Spades. Concrete Muncher living on single-digit HP, managed to make it out of there and make it a worth trade, but I think the Fool's going to clean up here. No, the recall to finish just in time. Wow, an absolute heist from Concrete Muncher to make it out of there. Now 7gen and Atomic taking some heavy damage from Zig, who's starting to run them down. Flash follow. 7gen goes down to the volley, and they just keep going. It's Zig fully ramped up with that Ranger's focus, and they get a double kill. Frisky baits him in, gets hooked, but trades so much damage back with the help of the turret, and it means Zig gets paid big for it.
And this is kind of why I was saying Atomic needs to work with the Fool to get the Wukong ahead, because, like, let's be honest here, right? Blitzcrank is a threat versus Seraphine and Ash, right? Like, that's just objectively true. But this early on, your Corki, especially with starting a Doran's Helm, your damage isn't going to be there, even if you are landing those hooks. If Wukong isn't there to back up that damage, then you're not going to get those kills. And obviously, Ash Seraphine's so good at punishing over-aggression, so good at punishing mispositioning, that absolutely Zig and Frisky, they were able to come away with that double kill in the bot lane. And then also talking about what's been happening top lane, Concrete Muncher did flash to get that kill, but greatest. Oh wait, this is what I was talking about.
Mid. Astral Flight in, Singularity, some decent damage with the Breath of Life. Rocket Grab hits perfectly, and Jellybean Jeff taking so much damage. I think they're going to go down. They do. I Am Atomic might have messed up bot lane, but they make up for it in the mid as they get Feral Eevee their first kill on the Aesol, kind of pushing the lane back into the favor of the Dragon. A great roam from that Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, that like the brand is just vulnerable. Both Aesol and Brand want to shove the lane forward, sure. But as you were saying earlier, Aesol's damage isn't quite there to shove the lane as well as Brand's is. With that passive, you can just completely hard shove the lane, which sometimes works to your benefit, but in other cases like this, you are going to get punished. There's a good read from I Am Atomic. Get the kill back, or traded back. Top lane, things are still going reasonably well for King of Spades in terms of the farm department. You see that call in the Scion's inventory, really just indicating, I'm fine with farming. Like, this is like, I'm expecting this to be a bit of a wet noodle fight. We shouldn't really be killing each other all that much. Gonna farm it out, gonna farm it up, gonna be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that bot lane advantage, it is going to be Zig and Frisky pushing in the wave, and it's going to be Panay being able to secure first dragon with the help of their team. We're seeing one thing I want to talk about here while we have some time before they fight. Maybe Caster Curse that, but Panay is going for the Brutalizer, likely going to go for a very aggressive high AD build. So that does mean the Hecarim will be squishy if they get hooked in by the Blitzcrank. But look at the items on Zig versus 7gen. Going back with a BF sword on the Ashe means you can go for that more greedy item, being the Yuntal. Must be amazing feeling for Zig on the Ashe, and we've seen Zig on the Ashe before make some great plays in the whole season. So I'm seeing it's kind of poetic that they get Zig and 7gen, both these AD carries getting some of their best champions in this game one. I'm sure it'll be more exciting once we get to the later team fights, but man, seeing a BF sword in the inventory against just a Sheen and a Tier is a bit sad if I'm playing the Corki.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Obviously Zig, it's like the Ashe is going to hit quite hard with that BF sword. But also speaking of hitting hard, right? Panay, as you said, does have that Brutalizer, and I think it's really indicative of the fact, like, okay, as this Hecarim, I need to proc my Storm Raiders, and I don't care about hitting the enemy front line. I need to pressure the back line. I need to have that burst potential. So you go for that AD heavy build, you go for that assassin like Hecarim, because that should allow you to one-shot that Corki, one-shot that Aesol, add a whole ton of pressure. And I think that's probably what Panay needs in this game. Like, you need to pressure the Corki and the Aesol constantly. You need to be able to proc your Storm Raiders. So yes, you are going to go for that Brutalizer. You're going to be aggressive. That's what we want to see. Overall, Mint Ice Cubes, they are out to a reasonably good lead this far in 8 minutes. You have 1.3, 1.4k gold lead. And that's rather healthy, especially considering that a lot of that gold is, as you said, on that Ashe. We're already hitting level 6 on Zig. I'm sure that Frisky should be relatively close behind. That Ash Seraphine combo gets so much more annoying when they both have their ultimates available. But I do gotta say, like, the Fool is kind of falling a bit behind here in terms of that early farm, right? You know, before he was just like 2 camps down, now 20 whole CS. That is going to be a bit painful because you need that. I genuinely believe that this Wukong needs to be relevant. Like, you need to have him ahead, because if Wukong falls behind, then you're really just having Wukong as a warm body alongside the Sion, and that's not going to feel great heading into like the post 30-minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta agree with you there, True. I mean, we're already seeing Panay get both early objectives, being the Void Grubs just now, and that earlier Infernal Drake. I mean, I think, to your point exactly, is that the Fool needs to have some threat on the backline, right? He is practically their only dive for the side of Faceless, so if the Wukong can't really threaten the Ash Seraphine brand, what is, you know, there's a lot less team fight pressure for those champions that should be, you know, kind of squishy targets. So maybe I'm Atomic can kind of make up for that with a good angle on the hooks, and the Fool can play more for peel against the Hecarim Malphite. But yeah, I do totally think that as that Wukong, you want to be trying to hit that Triforce power spike as soon as possible, but it seems like the Hecarim is just so heavily outpacing, and now going for this top lane gank, gets the charge in, but the Unstoppable Onslaught cancels it with that CC immune, so that is going to be ultimate down for the Sion. They do have TP to get back to their wave if necessary, so now being spotted on that, can the Fool do anything with that timer? I'm not too sure, but it does give 7gen and I'm Atomic some range to go for this bot lane as they get in a hook on the Seraphine. But the trade still going in the favor of Zig and Frisky as the arrow and the encore hit, and the BF sword is packing a punch as 7gen just goes down, even through using both sums.
Yeah, and it's just a slim margin there on that cleanse, right? 7gen. Oh, wait.
Going for the Cyclone on Jellybean Jeff, who does have the flash, but they're just going to get melted by that Breath of Light. A second kill for Feral Eevee there. They got the Mega Stone in tow, as it's a nice setup from the Fool with the Monkey Business getting a kill for their mid laner. So it's a tale of two lanes right now. It's Feral Eevee getting pretty far ahead, but on the other side, Zig and Frisky are looking dangerous. That is a Yuntal completed for the Ashe.
Yeah, and Zig is really coming out ahead, right? Has a roughly 900 gold lead over 7gen. Feral Eevee with that ASOL, very respectable 700 gold lead over Jellybean Jeff. And as I was saying, you know, the brand, you're immobile, right? Like, you're vulnerable. There's nothing you can do about that. But, like, the benefit of that being is that you're still brand, right? Like, how many times are you going to see, like, a 0-5 brand just throw out ultimate and teamfight, get multiple procs of passive, and then come away with, like, the highest damage done in that teamfight? It happens so often that even killing the brand doesn't completely neutralize the threat. Oh, I'm Atomic in a little bit of trouble here.
In a lot of danger, getting charged back in, flashes away, but Zig slowing them down. One more volley into an auto attack from Panay, gets the kill. The Headless Horseman just absolutely collecting. I'm Atomic going for the Glacial Augment means they're not tanky at all. Wait, Jellybean Jeff, though, getting a decent trade. Feral Eevee, half HP. Now they're going forward with the Astral Flight, knowing that Jellybean Jeff's cooldowns are down. Drops the Falling Star, but it's flashed away from that. Flash away from the arrow. Doesn't really much matter, though, and it stuns the Wukong in the bush. What was that? It was a super hot Jellybean as he just melts him with the Pyroclasm. Feral Eevee, even with that one item advantage, still loses in the 1v1 to the brand as they just eat multiple rotations of spells, and it was a great flash from Jellybean Jeff to get out of that ultimate.
Yeah, Brand's damage with Deathfire Touch, it just scales up so hard, and it's so disgusting and annoying to deal with. Top lane, this is the this is the wettest noodle fight I've ever seen. Like, they are quite literally smacking each other around.
Grass stack.
Oh,
7gen who gets rooted up. He has the Valkyrie. He jumped up with the Onslaught of Shadows. Gets Zig another kill, excuse me. Unstoppable Force on the top side. Solo kill for Concrete Muncher. And on the bot side, I Am Atomic lives, but they do not secure the kill on Panay. So in the top side, it is Concrete Muncher. In the bot side is Zig and Frisky. The entire side of Mint Ice Cubes are really playing this early game well as they make play after play, and it is succeeding on all fronts here, True.
Yeah, and I really think this is just indicative of the fact that the Fool on this Wukong was never really able to have a successful gank. We're 13 minutes in here, and the most successful gank that Faceless have had was I Am Atomic going mid lane and ganking for Feral Eevee, getting that kill on the brand. But even that's been somewhat neutralized as you're still seeing that Jellybean Jeff is more than capable of pumping out damage. Top lane, the the Malphite, able to get that solo kill for himself. You do see that King of Spades does have that MR through Hollow Radiance, so I can't imagine Malphite's really going to be consistently killing the Scion that much headed forward. But yeah, like I would say that if you are faceless, this is a little bit worrying. It's a little bit concerning because you're seeing that like your lanes are not pulling ahead. Yes, you are going for the very scaling-oriented composition, but when you come to these scaling-oriented compositions, the ideal state of the game is coming out even of laning phase, and this is far, far from even. You're seeing Mint Ice Cubes very much on the positive end of things. Now, up top lane, now you're really seeing that little bit of MR pay off dividends for King of Spades as Concrete Muncher no longer able to put out the same amount of damage.
Rocket grab lifts.
This is still like I would argue that even if you land that rocket grab, that might not be what you want.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Fool was sitting in the bush, but I feel like we've seen this like more than a couple times here. The Fool looking for a lane gank and not just being able to get anything. They're now 40 CS down. They are on one item, though, and the Fool now running into the Hecarim, getting unstoppable, forced in as well. The Fool about to die, flashed away with the Cyclone. Is there enough movement speed? The flash fall from the Malphite gets the kill. King of Spades here now with the ultimate, but now they're in a 2v3. The arrow goes wide. The knockup, though, is big on the Malphite. Is there enough damage? The skies descend. The hook back in onto the brand, and a great combo from Feral Eevee, and the side of I Am Atomic secures them 1 kill and a 1-for-1. Now we see Feral Eevee go through the wall with the Breath of Life, just melts the Malphite with that percent health magic damage, and that is a double. That is a shutdown for Feral Eevee, who's looking very powerful on this Space Dragon. We did not expect this. We were expecting absolutely maybe the Corki or the Wukong to be doing better in this early game, but no, it's the late game scaling that is the ASOL absolutely popping off due to some great help from I Am Atomic. So I mean, the gold lead is about 2k, but a lot of the gold being centralized in that late game carry that is the ASOL does mean good things for Faceless. It's not over for them yet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like that, it's great, right? You do want gold going somewhere, and ASOL getting it is not bad at all. Like the real problem is that ASOL is the only person with gold on Faceless's composition, and that is in and of itself an issue. Panay, yeah, there's a lot of movement speed here, but this is a big boy to cut.
That's a big boy. Like, he
has more than enough movement speed. He's getting him there. Yeah, he's whittling him down. Like there is no armor.
Rampage is doing big, charge back into the wall, but I think King of Spades is okay. Gets the knock him on it too. Roar of the Slayer actually gets ulted under turret though. Wait, is that one more too many turret shots? That is! Panay goes down to the turret shots because Concrete Muncher was slightly out of range. Wait, Encore in the bot lane though. I'm Atomic looking for the hook. I don't think they can get it. It was a double roam. It would have been a 4-man play on the bot side. Zig to about half HP. Can the ASOL and Wukong do something on the map while Panay is dead?
I mean, they certainly have the ability to force it. You have Wukong. Cyclone is almost up. Looks like they might be pulling off of it. Dragon is about to spawn, so that might be what they want to play around and set up for, especially because Panay is still down for now.
Yeah.
It was. I think it's just miscoordination on that kill for King of Spades up there in that top lane. I think that Panay thought they had swapped the aggro over to Concrete Muncher, and then went back in, and then unfortunately still got hit up by those turret shots.
TP here. Hawkshot gets vision, but it's burning down so quickly. Gets secured instantly before the TP channels. Chanticleer arrow goes wide. Atomic gets the hook in on Frisky. A lot of damage from the Corki, and there's no Encore from Frisky to fire back. So good trade back onto Mint Ice Cube support. Excuse me. And the TP is kind of wasted as Concrete Muncher's channel just takes too long for Mint Ice Cubes to really do anything. Faceless is going to get now some time back trading against that top lane turret. Now it's both top lane tier 1s down. But Feral Eevee with that power spike on the ASOL means that the Fool's, kind of lack of damage with just the one item is kind of made up for. So great plays from this mid-jungle duo to really secure that, stop the dragon stacking. That is kind of that time, the win condition for Mint, considering they have, slightly worse scaling. I'm Atomic with the hook, gets the movement speed from the overdrive, and Zig is just gonna pretty much walk out of that with no fear whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of playing Blitzcrank, right? Like, I think in that situation versus Zig, like, this is another spot where, like, yes, Blitzcrank is kind of scary, but you also don't really have anyone there, so it's kind of an empty threat, almost.
Very dangerous. The Fool's about under half HP, and now Concrete Muncher and Panay are here. So is Frisky, so 4-man play, 5-man now, as Zig moves to the mid lane. It's going to be Mint Ice Cube sending 5 to the Rift Herald, and I think they're going to secure it easily, unless the side of Faceless does something about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Faceless, with those kills, like there's so much gold on this ASOL, almost completed the second item already, which is great. As long as ASOL is going to be present in these fights, there is a legitimate threat. Huge hook!
Oh my god, that's massive, and he gets, oh, the Decimating Smash doesn't go in on time. Falling Star hits, and they get the shutdown onto the Ash, but the Onslaught of Shadows underneath. Miss on that charge from Panay means that the ASOL is still alive. A big knockup from the Cyclone, and the smash again. It's 2 quick kills for the side of Mint, and a flash forced out by, Frisky. I Am Atomic hitting 2 key grabs. Well, I guess one of them didn't hit, but hitting a massive grab to win that team fight, getting a huge shutdown, and the gold again onto the ASOL, and then a second great hook forces out the flash from the Seraphine, meaning she is very vulnerable to the next gank. We see here the Fool trading blows with Panay as he jumps in with that onslaught. A nice double that Decimating Smash. King of Spades doing decent damage to the not very tanky Hecarim. Jellybean Jet doing their best to see her back. Look at the Breath of Light though. Heal invested, Flash invested as well from Jellybean Jet. Frisky keeping them alive for now as they try to defend this turret. Minion wave is gone. I Am Atomic whiffs the hook. King of Spades tanking up the turret. They cannot finish this turret fast enough as Zig is here to reinforce. But yeah, I mean, just going back and finishing the point before I pass it to you, True, it is I Am Atomic getting the amazing, massive team fight winning hook onto the Ash, and then forcing out the Seraphine Flash as well. So that's a huge summoner, a huge kill. Gold goes on a Feral Eevee, which is the exact person you wanted on. Faceless with the mid support duo of Blitzcrank ASOL are really making things work here. They even up the gold lead. They're even at a slight advantage.
Yeah, I mean, like Feral Eevee is becoming just so scary at this point. Being 5-1 on this ASOL, that Breath of Light, as you said, is hitting hard. Kind of giving Brand a taste of his own medicine. Also, like Zig, right? Like in that previous team fight, Zig kind of got the treatment of like, oh, this is how it feels to play against Ash, because you're constantly getting sucked in by the black hole, but then you also get hit by the falling skies, and you can't do anything. Right? Like, Seraphine is there, but Seraphine can't really keep you safe. But also, speaking of Seraphine, I do want to say, I think that as far as Frisky MMO is concerned here, this is a semi-wasted item with the Rylai's. And I'm saying that because you already have Ash. There's another hook.
It's Zig, and now the Cyclone for the follow-up. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow stalls a bit, but Zig cannot get out of there. It's 7gen getting their first kill, and great plays from the mid support duo of Faceless. The Fool maybe in some danger. Panay runs him down, gets the smite as well. The Fool trying to fight back. It is 1 item against 2, though. Panay actually choosing to back off.
The ASOL.
The ASOL is there. Huge ultimate from ASOL. Gets jumped away from with the Hecarim ult as a trade, so... the mid lane, scarier than the jungler of Mint Ice Cube. But yeah, passing it back to you, True. You were talking about the Rylai's being a waste item on the Seraphine for sure.
It's redundant. I think waste is a bit harsh of me to say, but it's redundant because you already have the Ash, but then there's also just so much CC for you to play through. Maybe you could argue that it helps the Brand because like Brand doesn't have to get Rylai's early in that case, but I would argue that this feels very like unnecessary because you have Ash and Hecarim and Malphite, these 3 sources of CC that are so effective for you. I think that like in this game, I would want to see something like that new Imperial Mandate for Seraphine.
Oh, hook hits! Knock up from I Am Atomic. There's big damage on Panay, but the Malphite is here, chasing off I Am Atomic, who might have bitten off more than they can chew. They go down to Zig and the arrows. Mid lane turret crash does not get the tier 1. Is there enough stalling? Unstoppable Force onto the Wukong, the stun as well, but the Wukong does secure it with the smite. The Fool jumping out of the back, but I think they're going to burn down to Jellybean Jet. They do. The passive is enough to get the kill, but it is second Dragon secured for Faceless, trading over 2 kills. So it's 2 kills for second Drag, stopping the stacking once again. Maybe it's worth, but they're still not out of the woods yet. Frisky looking for an angle. Zig and Concrete Muncher both down ultimate, so I think the play stops here. But it is Faceless sacrificing 2 to secure that dragon.
Yeah, and Faceless, they've certainly came like shored up the deficit that they were having in that early game.
This
Oh
might
my
just be
goodness,
Aesol running down
is-
Concrete Muncher. He doesn't have ultimate to cancel
absolutely
the Breath
is.
of Light, and it's just gonna burn down this boulder.
Man, and he
Flash even to
flashed.
get out of that, and that was, I mean, I might be harsh now, but that is definitely a waste if the Rylai's is not, as Concrete Muncher burns the Flash and gets roasted alive by the Leandries and the Deathfire touch. Feral Eevee absolutely going feral on them and just blasting them with the, that's some Flareon type fire, if I do say so myself here, True. And it's completely even on gold once again.
Yeah, and like I think that overall it's a dicey situation because as Malphite you are behooved to get armor, and it's not as though armor is useless in this game, right? You see the Scion, you see the Wukong, even Corki, but that was another close hug.
Oh, so close.
But obviously you are going to need that MR for Aesol specifically, and it just isn't quite there for Concrete Muncher. But I think that if you are mint ice cubes at this point, right? You're worrying a little bit because you need to hit this Aesol. The Aesol is the heart of this team as far as Faceless is concerned, right? Like, Aesol is pumping out so much damage in these fights. Like, Corki is starting to get there a little bit too, but Aesol has been the huge highlight problem, and very consistently, Faceless have been playing to keep that Aesol alive. You see that reflected with the Locket on Blitzcrank, but also just you having your front line, having your disruption there for the Wukong has been paying off really, really well in these fights. If you are mint, not only do you need to get that Aesol, but you also need to make sure that consistently the other thing that's winning Faceless these fights is that hook from Atomic. Yes, it's not a glamorous scoreline that Atomic has with 0, 3, and 5, but when the hooks have come through, they've come through when they count the most, and it's paying off really, really well for Faceless. And I would say that if they get one more decent fight, they are just definitively in the driver's seat of this game, and I think they're just going for Baron. It's not even spotted out.
It burns down really quickly due to the Aesol damage, the Breath of Life being able to just be held down, and there's no vision at all. There's not even a hawk shot for it. It's burning down to 5k, and it's completely just under the table. Mint Ice Cubes don't even see it coming, and Faceless secure the Baron Nashor. That is so huge for their side laning, for their next team fight. It's going to be a lot of side lane pressure now, especially with that Scion, especially with that Aesol for the next couple minutes here. That was big from the side of Faceless for the shot calling.
Yeah, and I think it's just another situation of it's hard to scout it with Hawkshot, and I think that even if Mint Ice Cubes had spotted it out, based on where they were spread, it wouldn't be a fun situation to try to play into. That being said, though, the Baron does go over to Faceless, and that behooves them quite well because they're going to have that Baron active for the Dragon fight. That will be their sole point. They're getting so much movement speed on this composition. They're able to get to the lanes faster because of all that out-of-combat movement speed. Oh man, wait, Jellybean Jeff might be in a bit of trouble here. Ooh.
Oh, in some danger. King of Spades actually getting out, though, with the ultimate. So Panay, with the backup on Jellybean Jeff, means that it is the mid laner saved for the top laner's ultimate. But I mean, the Scion can just walk back into this and has the Baron buff, and now they're going to have to send someone else there for the side lane. 7gen pushing up the wave a little bit. I'm Atomic maybe looking for a hook. Oh, barely. The minion says, get down, Mr. President, and Frisky lives to see another day.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that hook goes through, it's a very difficult situation for Mint to play for that Dragon, for that soul point of their own. Man, King of Spades is so unbothered. It is incredible how much he doesn't care, and a lot of that is the Hollow Radiance paying off with that little bit of MR. Also, it's just Scion's own health stacking passive, which you think would be countered by all the % max HP damage. Oh wait, Jen did get rooted up, but able to stay relatively safe.
Yeah, a good dodge of that. Mid lane tier 2 does go down thanks to the Baron minions, but Baron power play maybe will get Faceless another turret in the top, but it looks like, yeah, it does. It is going to be King of Spades getting that, but I don't know if they can get out. They pop the ultimate to escape, so that Baron power play nets 2 tier 2s, which is quite a bit of gold for Faceless, don't get me wrong. And they also, most importantly, get the Dragon Soul point. That's a 3rd Cloud Drake, so they are moving everywhere across the map, which really helps with their rotations. And if you get a 4th one, I mean, it's such a good skill on the Wukong, on the Corki, on the Scion. Big deal for them if they get that soul. And I mean, this is, I think, the late game scaling we were talking about here, True. It's starting to look more and more in Faceless's favor. Not saying that Mint Ice Cubes can't get a win here, but it does look like the Asol, the Corki, even the Wukong are getting to a point where it's very dangerous for Mint Ice Cubes to even fight. And I'm getting a note here from producer, thank you, Shabam, that a couple minutes ago, about 2 minutes ago, that the Asol is about 232 stacks, so they're likely around that 250, even more mark. So their Q is doing a ton of damage. Their Astral Flight's going very far in their Singularity. It must be gigantic at this point.
Yeah, they are at 258 now. So yes, Feral Eevee hitting like a truck already.
Oh,
this
wait,
might be the engage angle. Arrow landed.
After through the cyclone, or sorry, through the decoy, the Cyclone gets him out. The Encore completely whiffs a flash ultimate onto the Corki, but the skies descend, and it creates a huge explosion, getting Feral Eevee. 7 jumping away from the brand. Feral Eevee going for the kill on Zig, but they can't get it with the Breath of Light. A flash to secure the kill on the Corki, but Concrete Muncher gets hooked in, but the Breath of Light isn't enough. Feral Eevee is not enough as he's starting to burn down. Barely survives from the brand passive, and Jelly Bean Jeff in these team fights completely turns it around, even in a straight up 5v5, even at a deficit that is Mint just burning them down. Sorry, it was a 4v5, so King of Spades has been on top the entire time, so I guess that's why Mint gets so much work done. Now it's Zig and Concrete Muncher trying to kill the Sign, trying to kill the wave before he gets this turret. I think they're going to secure, they're going to secure the Scion afterwards, but the Split Push Scion does its job and secures top lane tier 3, but it is a big shutdown over to the Ashe, Zig is still an absolute menace in these team fights, so I mean, any which way, the gold is still pretty even. It's only about 1,000 gold between these two teams. Mint Ice Cubes punch back pretty strong here, True. The power of the Pyroclasm melts through the entire side of the Faceless as they didn't have their tank there.
Yeah, not having the Scion there hurts substantially, but that's also what I was saying earlier. You know, as long as you have Brand in the team fight, as long as you get a good ultimate off, that Pyroclasm will just tear through the entire teams no matter what, and that's exactly what happened there. 7 Jed ended up burning down. Feral Eevee almost, burned as well. So really, even though Mint have certainly been playing passively, I would say maybe the last 7 minutes or so, maybe even more than that, their composition is still scary. It's just that they've been playing so passively. They're looking for Feral Eevee now, though.
Gets ulted by the Hecarim and they're trying to Astral Flight out, but they don't make it. It's a shutdown over to Panay. It is Feral Eevee getting a bit too aggressive and gets punished hard for it. Scion with the Decimating Smash hits nothing. Panay trying to run down the Blitzcrank as the Bass Brothers are just here. Big damage, though, from the Corki. Shreds down Panay. Zig, though, firing back with the arrows. King of Spades so damn tanky. Concrete Muncher looking for the kill in the back line. Scion still tanky. Concrete Muncher finally dying. Gets killed by the Crushing Blow. And now it's a straight-up 3v3 between both teams. A flash away from Zig to secure to not die. Zig gets one on Jelly Bean Jeff after a huge knockup happens, and now a great beat drop. Gets the root on 2. Frisky doing big damage to both the Zig and the Fool in a bloody team fight. It is 3 going down for Mint and 2 going down for the side. Oh, sorry, only 1 going down for the side of Faceless as Feral Eevee was the only casualty there. I'm Atomic barely squeaked out from the Malphite. And again, these team fights look so close. You think one side is winning after they get a huge pick on Feral Eevee, then Faceless turn around because Corki is just so much damn activated with that LDR, able to hit huge crits onto both frontliners and just melt through them with the Gatling and the Triforce Auto. Now this is straight on the Baron. It does get spotted though, and Faceless, they are trying to burn it down. I think it's going to go down fast enough. Yeah, the Hecarim's not fast enough to make it in range. No Ghost, no Ultimate, no way to get in there. And that is the second Baron just completely fried to pieces by the Faceless, securing another one for them.
Yeah, and Feral Eevee able to TP in there when with that Breath of Light is that Baron just doesn't exist, right? Asol's able to hit it from such safe range. You're able to completely melt through it. But talking about that last team fight, wait, it might be another one breaking out. TP being channeled.
Looking for Zig. King of Spades is here looking for the Decimating Smash. Doesn't hit anything. I am Atomic, though, getting very far up in their faces. Big Singularity, the ultimate hits, too. The Corki's going to get absolutely melted. Can they get away? Get hit with the Encore. It's big damage, but
they got pulled
so low. It is a trade of 80 carries, and also the Wukong dies, and now it's just King of Spades in the middle of 4. The Feral Eevees can't even get close as they're just too damn scared as King of Spades is slowly going to get whittled down. Singularity hits, but it's not enough to help out the Scion, who does go zombie form. Frisky with a great Encore and doing so much damage from the backline. I mean, the secondary damage dealer is this Seraphine, and it's just Faceless getting caught at that unopportune moment. 7gen gets completely blasted. Feral Eevee can't get in range, and now it is soul point to soul point maximum amount of dragons before the soul, and it is Mint Ice Cubes punching back. The gold lead still not even 500 gold between these two teams. It is extremely close to like we expected here. True.
And it's just punch, counter punch, punch, counter punch between these two teams. And like what happened at the previous fight before the Baron, I think, was just an overcommitment from Mint, right? They had expended so many tools in pursuit of killing Feral Eevee, and the most egregious one was the Malphite ultimate that didn't end up hitting anything, because right before the Malphite ultimate would have hit, the Asol goes down, but then they tried to overforce, and then Malphite and Hecarim, your front line chase after the enemy backline, and then your backline gets left completely exposed. The Scion's just able to find his way in there. That really pressured Zig as well as Zero.
Zig has the flank. Look at the damage on the backline, but it's not enough. Ultimate to chase. Valkyrie out. King of Spades is here.
The Corki.
I think the Corki's just gonna die. Seven Gen exploded. In the backline, though, look at the Fool. Can he get the kills in the backline? He cannot. Gets rooted up, trades one back, finally on Frisky. And Feral Eevee just going to fly away as King of Spades again is going to get put in the meat grinder again. It's a 1v4, and Zig takes up a double kill there. The problem is Feral Eevee cannot get close enough to actually get channels of the Breath of Life without being under threat, and then the entire team falls apart without that second damage dealer. You only have the frontline bruisers, and the 7-gen gets targeted and absolutely wasted by the entire by the entire dive squad of the Hecarim Malphite. It is a hard team fight to play, but thankfully for the side of Faceless, there's not too many objectives that Mint Ice Cubes can actually get off that win.
Yeah, also critically, while King of Spades was in that death passive, he's able to kill the entire wave in that mid lane, which buys Faceless just that little bit of breathing room. Yes, King of Spades, or sorry, not King of Spades, Feral Eevee does have a lot of wave clear as this Asol as well, but removing the wave from any sort of factor does delay the push. There's no push in mid lane. They're only able to get that outer turret in bot lane. And at this point, yes, the gold lead is there is a gold lead in the favor of mid, but given how back and forth these fights are going, as well as that scaling, the Corki is getting scary. The problem is that in these previous couple of fights, Corki is just getting zeroed out, right? The moment that Mint see an opportunity to go in on one of those backline targets, be it the Asol or the Corki, they go straight for them, and that is really, really putting pressure on Faceless to be successful. Frequently we're seeing in these fights now, the only two people left are Scion and Feral Eevee, and Feral Eevee just can't walk up because most of Mint has been left untouched. And I think it's kind of indicative of the fact that Faceless have kind of moved away from what was making them so successful in those previous fights, right? Getting a hook onto a primary target, but also making sure that your backline is untouched, and those things going away are really, really spelling difficulties for them. Now we're back to the wet noodle fight we saw in laning phase.
Wet noodle fight continues. No more Baron buff. Multiple members of Mint are in mid lane. And I think King of Spades kind of just walks up, takes the turret with the Demolish and the plating, and it just kind of clear it. So a bit more gold for the Scion. And one thing is that we're seeing so many attempts. Oh, we're seeing a bit of a weird pause here. I think my screen. Oh, okay, we're back. King of Spades has been a little bit late to the fights when Concrete Muncher was there, kind of initiating every one. So it's a bit hard, I think, for the side of Faceless to play out without their front line for so long. But we're seeing here the side lane pressure of King of Spades is making something work, but Jellybean Jeff returns, ultimate invested, Supple Onslaught now not available for the next fight, which could be around the next Baron or Dragon, which are very close to synced up. And yeah, it's
actually going to be up. It's a 48-second cooldown.
Oh, okay, great. Spades is going to have that for the next fight, so no harm, no foul. They get a little bit of gold. Hopefully they can use it. But yeah, I mean, to the point of Dragon and Baron spawning very close together. It's Soul for both teams and Baron again for both teams. So it's going to be a lot of macro decision-making for these teams to see how they play around this.
Yeah, I mean, and in terms of these teams, right, the Cloud Soul is not useless here. Oh, wait, they might be looking for something.
He is here. Deathbending Smash goes wide.
The Fool in the back!
Hits two. Encore hits 3 though, and Zig gets a rampage. They insta-kill Feral Eevee. The Sign does get the kill on Brando, and Panay is running away. The team fights 7gen. It gets up close, gets the killing shot onto the Ash, but they do trade their life in response. The tank of the Sign ulti doesn't do much as Concrete Muncher tried to flash warp. The splash damage still gets the Seraphine, and now in a in a reflection of what happened before, it's now Concrete Muncher getting bashed down by the Bash Bros as the Fool looking for more. Jumps in with the Nimbus Strike, gets him with the Crushing Blow, but there's just barely not enough damage. But on the other side, yes, it is the Feral Eevee, it is 7gen. Both these carries going down for Mint, or sorry, for Faceless, but Mint Ice Cubes lose more. They lose everyone other than Concrete Muncher because 7gen just flashes in so aggressively and takes the kills. Does manage to kill Zig, and that means there's not enough damage to really affect the Sign or the Wukong. It was a great Cyclone, another great Encore in response to it, but in the end, it's just Faceless that play a little bit more aggressively. They managed to get the killing blows, and there's no one left to deal with the big beefy boys, and they're going to use that opportunity to secure Cloud Soul.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Fool is going to be completely uncontested, but that does mean that the Baron is on everyone's mind here. There is so much movement speed now on the side of Faceless, right? Like, not just the ultimate movement speed, which is great for Cyclone. Yeah, you could argue it's kind of useless for King of Spades, useless for Feral Eevee, but 7gen likes to have it. You could argue that I'm Atomic can make use of it as well. Then you also have, oh wait, the setup is here.
You're going to start this immediately.
They're just churning and burning.
TP activated by Aestul, but I don't think he's going to make it there in time. It's just burning down so quickly to the Brand, to the Ash. Arrow misses. Zig in a compromised spot, gets hooked in. Is there enough damage? It gets secured by the Hecarim. The knockups happen. Can Zig go down? It does. The rocket kills him, but Brand gets a kill on Atomic on the other side. In the backline, though, look at the Fool. It's just diving on top of the Seraphine. Flash over for the kill. Jellybean Jeff now under threat. Gets a Falling Star dropped on his head, and the Baron goes over to mid, but the team fight goes to Faceless as Concrete Muncher gets melted to pieces. It is Feral Eevee dropping some Draco Meteors, dropping some flamethrowers on them, and absolutely turning it around. That is why you cannot fight Aestul in the late game, and in a 4-for-1, it is Mint Ice Cubes running for the hills. It's just Panay left alive. They have a wave, they have the members. I think Faceless are going to use this opportunity to end the game.
Yeah, I think so. I don't really think that there's too much that Panay can do in this situation to hold against 4 members, and 2 of them are this scaled up Corki Aestul. Towers don't last long at all, and that should be game number 1 going over to Faceless. It was really back and forth. This was very competitive between the 2 teams. But I do want to point out that as far as the map is concerned, this is an absolute victory for Faceless, as it wasn't even able to take a single tier 2 turret. Yes, the fights were very, very scrappy, but in terms of who had overall control of the map, I think that, you know, outside of the early game into the early stages of mid game, Faceless just controlled it so well. Yes.
FPL viewers, we return to the FPL. That's Franchise Premier League Grand Finals. We're in the second game between Mint Ice Cubes, now on the blue side, versus the Faceless, who are now on red. Faceless took game 1 in a pretty back and forth fashion. It was anyone's game up until the very end, and I'm sure both teams want to continue that again. It's your hosts, Kevin, Dunk, and True. Before the game started, we were chatting about skins. True, everybody here, I think, True, you said, has a skin, and yeah, I mean, they've got all the drip.
Yeah, and that's what really matters at the end of the day. It doesn't matter who wins if you look boring, right? You gotta win and look good doing it. But moving away from that, I will say, you know, Concrete Muncher does have Storm Raiders on Gragas now.
Oh no!
I will say, look, Urgot is not going to be a super tanky build, right? If anything, you're going to build health, which means Gragas's damage should still be completely relevant, right? So I think the Concrete Muncher should be, relatively speaking, behooved to take Storm Raiders, right? This should work. Otherwise, you are seeing 7gen doing the Doran's Helm start again as this, you know, very scaling, very passive-oriented champion with the Senna. It also is that farming Senna, like you mentioned, not going to be a farming Tom Kench. But outside of that, all the setups, all the stones seem relatively normal.
Well, Concrete Muncher in some danger.
I mean, like, this is the consequence of Gragas, right? Like, very early on, you are quite vulnerable. You're so reliant on, you know, getting that cooked barrel to do a lot of your damage, and also Urgot's nothing to scoff at, right? Like the champion with those shotgun legs can be pretty darn annoying to play against. Ski getting a little bit aggressive though.
Okay, nice shattering strike to cancel the channel of that abyssal dive. King of Spades with a big wave, running down Concrete Muncher, and now Panay is here for the gank. Level 3 on the Xin Zhao, extremely powerful. King of Spades going for the flash disdain though, and the ignite gets the first blood. Can Panay fight this back? It is big damage, but the wind becomes lightning, fully stacks the Conqueror. I don't think King of Spades can get out of this without the flash, and the last audacious charge secures, but the Fool looking for it, gets the pullback with the
nice
Dread
pullback.
Return, but the channel of the TP is good enough to keep the Fool away. Panay looking for the third Talon Strike and gets it. Very low HP. But the Fool just doesn't have enough fighting power to actually take it back on the Xin Zhao. So trade of 1-for-1 on the top side. King of Spades getting the first blood means they get a little bit extra gold, but the assist money happening means that the gold is relatively even between both teams. But yeah, it's getting explosive already as King of Spades not happy to just play the tank there. They had their weak side Sion game. Now they're going strong side with the Urgot early.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was, like, I think this is kind of a continuation of the previous game, right? Like, a little bit of a back and forth. It's nice for King of Spades to come away with that kill, but also, Panay getting that kill for the Xin Zhao, kind of accelerating your game a little bit. Should spell good things. I think Xin Zhao is another one of those junglers, like, similar to Wukong, that you need, like Wukong or J4, they should have the ability to just look for a gank early, and with an early lead, they can be pretty scary. Speaking of pretty scary, though, a lot of top lane trading going. Hey, there's the Swarm Raiders, man.
Honestly, yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, Concrete Muncher is now on, I guess, decent on the trades. They can at least trade back with the full combo. Actually takes King of Spades very low, and now Panay looking for gank bottom. 7-gen in some danger, flashes over the Chompers, but the wind becomes lightning and the charge. The exhaust is used to keep the Xin Zhao damage down. The barrier invested as well. The flash forward from Frisky. There's enough damage. The zap hits at the last second, and it is the Senna going down, but does trade one back with the Rel. And in the top side, it's King of Spades getting their second solo kill of the game as Concrete Muncher looked for something aggressive. Got the Urgot very low, but not low enough to secure the kill. That's 2 for big King of Spades there in the top lane. So action exploding all over the map. The Jinx did get the kill though, which is great to get that champion accelerated early.
Yeah, I mean, critically, Atomic actually canceled his auto attack that would have yoinked away the kill on Frisky, and 7-gen on the Senna, able to get a kill as well. But in terms of who's walking back into lane, feeling a bit more threatening, I will say Jinx walking in with a BF sword, as opposed to Senna walking in with a scout slingshot and a tier. Yeah, one of them is going to feel a lot scarier than the other, and it's not the Senna. Now, granted, this is typical for Senna, right? Like, you need your tier. Senna has the second highest base mana of any marksman in the game. You're very well rewarded for getting tier as Senna. It's just that you are really, really investing in that whole idea of scaling, as opposed to Jinx, who's able to just get that raw damage stat. They're in top lane. You're seeing Concrete Muncher as well as King of Spades. They're continuing to trade the punches, but it's the Urgot that's come away with the lead the last couple of times. And also, King of Spades does have that ignite, so I'd imagine, if they look for a fight in this post-6 period, Fear Beyond Death proccing with ignite could potentially spell the end of Concrete Muncher and set that Gragas even further behind in this top lane. Elsewhere on the map, mid lane's been relatively quiet, right? And I think that's kind of by design. Feral Eevee should be relatively safe versus Jellybean Jeff on this LeBlanc here. As far as the junglers go, we have seen Panay, did get the kill, and we did see that the Fool showed up in top lane as well, unable to get anything. But that Zehen is outscaling the Xin Zhao just a little bit on the clear side.
Yeah, we're seeing some moves in the bot lane. Feral Eevee maybe looking for something with the Vex, but not able to find it. And it is interesting. I'm not a big Senna guy. Excuse me, so maybe you could educate me here. Oh, wait, we're going to see a gank there. 4-man play. I Am Atomic flashes out. Jellybean Jeff missing the Infernal Chain, but the stun hits. Is there any follow-up? The distortion forward. There's just not enough damage on this big, tanky catfish. Zig gets hit with the Dark Embrace. Oh, gets hit with the Shadow Surge as well. It's big damage. The flash gets followed, and Feral Eevee gets their first kill. A great execute on that bot play. They get the reset, but they can't keep going forward. to the bot lane play. They burn everything on I Am Atomic, and they get nothing. Zig goes down again to a perfectly placed Shadow Surge. Zig needed to flash that early, and they flash too late and get exploded by the full combo, and I think that means it's Faceless getting the first dragon of this game. Great plays from their bot lane and their mid lane. Means the Fool gets more free time with this Zahungle. The farm gets the first dragon as well, but yeah, it's the scaling team get at an early advantage.
Yeah, and I like Vex is such a devastating champion when you have those resets, but nice to get that extra gold in from the kill, able to shove out the lane as well. Like, this should be it's a nice chunk of damage, but they trade it, you know, and that's what's frustrating for Jellybean Jeff in this lane as LeBlanc, because if you try to go forward onto the Vex, not only can Vex trade back with you, Vex can also punish you if she has the fear up and available. She also shields herself to kind of semi-deny your burst as LeBlanc. So it's kind of indicative of why Jellybean Jeff needs to get out of this lane and start pressuring the side lanes. Like when I see this Urgot in there in top lane with those 2 kills, I feel like if you're LeBlanc in this situation, you should feel incentivized to kind of punish this Urgot, because if Urgot uses Disdain, that should be more than enough of an opportunity for you to look for a punish. But unfortunately for Mint Ice Cubes and Jellybean Jeff, they haven't been able to make that happen quite yet.
Yeah.
There's a question about Senna, though.
Oh, sorry, I was just about to say Senna. I'm not sure I've seen the Tyr and the Doran's Helm build together. Usually, if it's an 80 carry Senna, they go for the bow or the blade, right? But maybe 7gen is going for something like the Jack of all trades, right? With the mana, with the health, because Doran's Helm already gives you 3. And then they have the mana. They have also a bunch of random stats from the static shift, so maybe that's what they're going for. Frisky looking for the crash down. Doesn't hit it. Shattering Strike hits. Zig, can they get closer? Vegas completely whiffs. And yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. Explosive cast, though. Hits King of Spades back in. But Concrete Muncher is still on the losing end of this trade. It's, yeah, bit dangerous for the side of the Gragas. But now we're seeing, like you said here, True, Jellybean Jeff making their move here. Ultimate flies out. Concrete Muncher in a little bit of danger. Flash Disdain hits. The Gragas taken very low. Is there enough burst? There is not, as King of Spades just going to get the kill right there. Can Jellybean Jeff follow? They have the flash. They need to use it. They flash Distortion and it whiffs. They go into the wall. Is the last blast ability going to do it? It is. It is going to be that mark of, sorry, the sigil of damage, sigil of silence. It doesn't silence anymore, but the sigil securing that last kill. So both sums burned for Jellybean Jeff to secure that, and that extra time means that Feral Eevee gets a lot of time on the wave.
It's a sigil of Malice.
Oh, Malice, that's what it is now. Yeah, well, it's pretty Malice because it secures the kill, and Flash forced out from Feral Eevee because they did see the Xin Zhao. Great offensive pressure from Panay and Jellybean Jeff, but it makes you think, is it too little too late? As now the Fool looking for this dive bottom. Panay, great timing on this, starts 1v1ing the Zahen. They're scrapping with each other. Grim Deliverance activated.
In trouble.
The Fool gets big damage and secures it with the help of the Dawning Shadow. Frisky now looking for the Fool. Is there enough damage from Panay? And Frisky, the Ignite popped. Wind becomes lightning, misses, but the stacks of the Cultivation do get the Resurrection. I'm Atomic now. Frisky taken very low, has to flash away from the center. Jellybean Jeff, though, has a chance to clean up, but they do see the Vex chasing. They have to back off here. If they get hit with the Shadow Surge, they take so much damage, and I think they're going to go down. No, they do get the Distortion right out. The last second, the Devour on 7gen is good.
No way.
Escapes with the dive on single-digit HP. It's Panay now taken low. A jump away with the crash down, and 7gen just snipes Jellybean Jeff, who was so low, and 7gen just 1v9, and Vex runs forward. Feral Eevee gets another kill onto the Xin Zhao. The bot lane dive. It was messy, but Faceless clean up big as they don't lose a single member there. I Am Atomic just smurfing that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I Am Atomic surviving by the skin of his teeth with, I imagine, single-digit HP, able to play out that health bar so efficiently. Come away, they don't really lose anything for it. Yeah, I think if as far as Faceless is concerned, this is exactly what you want, like, and more. Right, the Fool doesn't get killed because he's able to get the res off in time. They're able to punish so efficiently. They're getting gold onto that Senna. And yeah, I think if you are Mint Ice Cubes, you're kind of floundering, right? Like, you aren't able to pressure the Vex. You aren't able to pressure the Senna. I Am Atomic, who's able to use the Devour very efficiently to keep 7gen alive in a critical situation. Doesn't die himself. They get a huge punish. It's dicey for Mint Ice Cubes here because I think at this point you're pondering, like, is our only option going to be playing around this Jinx? And they don't exactly have the tools to keep it safe. Like, as you said, there is a lot of technical peel, but there isn't much to keep Jinx buffed up, if really anything. And now King of Spades might be in a bit of trouble.
Muncher, though, hit with the Fear Beyond Death. They ult them away, though, for the knockup. There's big damage to the distortion. Concrete Muncher secures it with a body slam, so a good play on the top side to secure the kill. But again, it's the Vex crashing in the wave, taking the plates, and bot lane still suffering at the hands of 7gen. It's just the railgun with the static shift is just absolutely blasting the side of Zig and Frisky. And again, that extra time, that, gank that was successful. Yes, you did get the kill onto the Urgot, but that does mean the Zahin again gets first access and uncontested, access to this Dragon for a second very early Drake for the side of Mint. Or sorry, for Faceless.
And to answer your question, I think that this is a 7gen specific thing. We're going for... Oh, wait.
I was talking about specific. This is not it. It's just a complete collapse from the side of the Faceless. Just running down Pinay in his own jungle. The Abyssal Dive hits, the Shadow Surge hits, the Zahin doesn't even need to pop their own ulti, and they just explode him. And it is now Jellybean Jeff in some danger as the Fool is here. Jellybean Jeff popping the distortion, double distortion, and dodges the the dreaded return. So great movement on that to not die there.
Yeah, very efficient movement from Jellybean Jeff, but just to finish the thought, yeah. So the Helm is 100% a 7gen thing. I think it's kind of indicative of, hey, you're playing a scaling champion that needs to stay safe early, and this gives you a lot of stats. You're also not wrong in saying that Jack of all trades, you like to have that, but overall, Senna's build just allows her access to that, especially because Static Shift gives AP as well as like attack speed, AD, movement speed. Then you're also getting mana from tier. Like, Senna naturally in pretty much all of her builds should be able to have access to Jack of trades or Jack of all trades. The Helm just gives 7gen so much safety. It's like hard to fight around.
Yeah, I did look through their OP.GG. This is a 7gen special. They did actually do go Jack of Double Trades too, and they're going to secure this first turn. Jellybean Death, though, making him play up top. King of Spades hits the Disdain. Big damage. Fear Beyond Death. Flash away from Concrete Muncher as he gets the explosive cast, but a flash follow. King of Spades does not go down in time before getting the kill, and it's Concrete Muncher again for the fourth time this game. Goes down to King of Spades. Again, it was just fourth solo kill as well, so this Urgot's absolutely running the show, and Concrete Muncher is the one who has to suffer for it.
Oh my lord. It looks so unfun. Sorry, it looks so unfun for Zig.
No,
I totally Frisky to be in this lane.
Yeah, Zig is
because Seta, like you proc the static shivs so easily.
Oh
my word.
Barrier has to be invested. Frisky gets rooted up. Pinay is here, but they just can't get in close. 7gen is just blasting them from 10,000 feet away, and there's nothing that the bottom lane of Mint can actually do.
Yeah, and you're seeing, like, that's a 2-level lead experience-wise for 7gen over Zig. That's a devastating lead as far as ADC experience goes. And so much of it is just because 7gen is able to just push Zig in constantly with that completed static shift. That is a whole ton of burst.
Jeez,
onto Jellybean Jeff. I mean, like, at this point, like, you can definitively say that Faceless are hard in the driver's seat in this series. It really feels like Mint in this game has not been able to do anything substantial.
Shadow Surge hits.
Shadow Surge.
Nice dodge from Jellybean Jeff, though. A flash forward from Feral EV. Jellybean Jeff flashes in response, but they're sure to be dead. Yeah, the dead on Fear becomes death. Sorry, Fear Beyond Death. Well, it becomes death for Jellybean Jeff as that hits dead on. King of States securing their 5th kill of the game. Herald used top as well. And yeah, like you said, it is just Faceless starting to run over this game as Smite away. The Fool now trapped under turret. A great explosive cast on them. Grim Deliverance gets a big heal, though, but they still go down to the Rel. Pinay healing up after with the Crescent Guard. Concrete Muncher now chasing down King of Spades. I think King of Spades is surely dead. Devour is great. I Am Atomic trying to run away.
He's still shooting, and Tom can just
in the body. Yeah, the moving turret is good. Flash forward from Pinay. Can they get the kill? They cannot. 7gen just explodes the Xin Zhao, and he's going to go for more. Frisky now getting run down by the Railgun, and in what was, I thought, a one fight for the side of Mint, gets completely turned around by 7gen on this Senna, who's just completely disgusting. Like, look at the damage, look at the range, they're full HP, they get the heals, then they secure 2 on the backside. Jellybean Jeff finally does get 1, killing King of Spades, but almost goes down in the process. That overall team fight was a 3-for-1. Or sorry, 3 for 2? Yeah, and it's just the entire side of Mint Ice Cubes losing on the top side. It is a 7k gold lead now for the side of Faceless.
Oh,
Oh no, Jellybean Jeff!
Hunting Shadow's available, I think.
Oh,
Oh, no,
my
doesn't matter.
lord, the
Red buff.
Deathfire touched him!
Red buff and Deathfire. Oh my goodness. Like,
Oh,
7 gen.
though. Really just
Flash.
flaunting in front of them. And they survive with the flash. They chunked out
This is egregious.
Zig from half HP off of a single auto Q.
Like, and I will say, you know, doing a quick stack check for 7 gen, you're at 69 stacks at 17 minutes. It's very healthy. Like, I like something like 600 something range, like maybe 660. But like, it's so hard to contend with at this point. Oh no.
No, and then it's just a meat grinder again. Ultimate not even needed. Frisky tries the face check and just gets feared into the flip, into the knockup, and that's an easy third dragon for Faceless. They're just completely taking over this game.
Faceless, it really seems like they're just unpressured and unbothered here. Will be a root. That might be a dead Urgot.
I am Atomic here, though. Can't get the Devour as the Dawning Shadow goes on top of 4. It is going to be Zahen finishing the Dragon. I am Atomic taking a little bit low, but 7 gen is just blasting them from range. Big shield with the great health, a great knock-up onto Feral Eevee in, but the Fool jumps in with the ultimate of their own. But they go down quickly to the burst as Panay is going to secure that one. 7 gen now getting chased down. Zig with the Get Excited is firing the rockets, but I'm Atomic with a great Devour to keep their AD carry safe. Still no ability to kill the Senna, but there is a bit of a fight back from Mint as they continue chasing here. Jellybean Jeff looking for the Vex. Is there enough burst before they go down? It is, and now Zig is fully activated. 7 gen jumped on by the Xin Zhao as well. There's no Devour. 5 people here looking for the dive. Frisky is back as well. Concrete Muncher looking to cut the wave. The TP invested from the Urgot. Oh my gosh, look at the damage from 7 gen. He just rails them again with that.
Oh no.
And from downtown, the Fear Beyond Death gets the kill. It is an overstay that Mint will dearly pay for. Concrete Muncher knocked up, rooted up, and killed again. 7 gen goes godlike, and King of Spade continuing the chase towards the wall. They don't have flash just yet, but maybe looking for the Noxious Charge. Abyssal Dive doesn't hit Zig. A knock up under turret, a big Magnet Storm, but look at how tanky this Urgot is. Frisky not even going to be able to kill them as 7 gen gets the kill on LeBlanc, and Frisky I think is going to go down to the last Embrace note. Oh my gosh, they do! Dawning Shadow over the corpse just for style points, and 7 gen on this wacky Doran's Helm Senna is just completely, I can't even say it, just utterly destroying the side of Mint Ice Cubes. 9 kills, 700 gold bounty, and they're now on 3 fully completed items before 20 minutes.
I mean, like, what was it? Maybe 2 minutes ago, right? Like I was saying, okay, well, Senna's at 69 stacks, right? And like 2 minutes after that, Senna is now at 86 stacks. You just,
Oh
like,
my
you've already
lord!
crested over your next break point. Like it's a devastating, horrifying thing to be playing against at this point. 7 gen is like there was no Tom Kenchall for the Senna in that situation. That was really just 7 gen able to position efficiently. Frisky's so in danger here. I think he's going to stay alive.
Yep, they're looking for the backline. Can they kill him fairly? But great explosive cast, but the Greg is just going to go down. Trades 1 for 1 for the Vex. Zig now in some danger. Has to flash away from the Fool. Panay now here. The Fool misses the dreaded return. Look at the burst from 7 gen. They just one-tap Zig. He walks up close, gets tongue lash, gets hit with the piercing darkness, and again, 7 gen 10 kill Senna. 3 items. This is not even like a railgun at this point. This is the howitzer that the Senna is carrying, just completely wiping out the life span, the life bars of Mint, and slowly wiping out the hope of this game as Faceless goes straight for this Baron buff.
Yeah, I mean, like typically, you know, you see a Senna, like you see a Senna, it's like, okay, we're kind of in for a late game. Like, you know, we're like Senna's gonna need time. She's gonna be hit like 100 stacks at like, you know, 30 minutes or something like that. 7 gen is just short of 100 stacks at 20, right? Like this Senna is working out so damn well for the side of Faceless, and they really, it feels like they can genuinely do no wrong. King of Spades has consistently been trading kills back and forth. Feral Eevee, such a strong like dissuasion tool for any sort of aggression that Mint want to throw. And it's all coalesced into this situation that like Senna is relatively untouched. The Urgot is pumping out damage, and let's be clear here. King of Spades has had some decent snubs with that Fear Beyond Death. right? Like just pulling people into the grinder. We saw it just there in bot lane. And yeah, Faceless in this match has so far done no wrong. Their soul is up in just over a minute. And it really feels like Mint have zero response.
Seven just walking up on Panay and blasting him for 20% of his HP with two autos and a Q. This, yeah, this Senna's looking practically invincible. Roll the title sequence as Zig only on 2 items, can't really hurt anyone. The Fool looking for Panay, half HP already. Jellybean Jeff though looking for 7gen. Big Dawning Shadow for the shield. Shadow Surge misses, and Frisky is just caught in no man's land, getting run down by the Urgot, dragged back in, and just doomed. Zig hit with the Fear Beyond Death, and oh no, that last little tick from the Static Shift gets the kill. King of Spades, every time they make this ultimate look like a point and click. King of Spades though might go down. No, they get the huge shield and they get the kill. Concrete Muncher completely torn to shreds by the Vex, by the Senna. And this might be a sub 25-minute game with the Baron buff. It's only Panay here.
Holy cow.
They have the ultimate, but they have no flash, and I think they just have to watch as their base gets completely torn to shambles. 7gen, I might have doubted you, my man, but I was unfamiliar with your game. The Doran's Helm Senna just completely wrecking house as Faceless take a quick game 2, putting them at match point. Hello, everyone. We return to the games of the grand finals for Franchise Premier League Season 4. Mint Ice Cubes versus the Faceless. It is Faceless looking to secure their championship with this match point game. They're up 2-0 in the lead. Mint Ice Cubes need to claw back 3 games in a row if they want a snowball's chance in hell in getting that championship trophy. It is Kebin, Dunk, and True, and Shovam taking you through this third one, possibly our last one. For the sake of the viewers, for the sake of us, let's hope not, because we want to see Mint put up a good fight in this series, but very excited to see how things will play out for both these teams. Faceless with a very aggressive team comp. Mint Ice Cubes picking some Renegades to make sure that they can maybe have a chance at running this back, and we'll find out. True, take us away.
As far as setup goes, nothing terribly surprising for either of these teams. And, you know, I think that Faceless, they did play like, oh, you know, you want to play around with what you have top lane. You know, we're going to draft a Lowy into your Singe that to punish a 1v1, to punish Singe wanting to play into us. Oh, wait.
Speaking of punish, Concrete Muncher already jumped on by the Fool. They know that the Singe is here. Can the Singe kill the wave, though? They hit level 2. They get the flip back. King of Spades, though, flashes to secure the kill. That is first blood for the Alawi. Investing the flash, but they also get a secure assist for the Fool. Big stuff from King of Spades to get that already. I mean, the Singe did clear the wave, though, so it's not all bad things for Concrete Muncher.
Yeah, certainly, and it does slow down the Fool's clear, as you can see that Panay on this Graves already finishing off that Wolf camp, working towards the bottom side of the map, but Fool only on that after those Raptors just now, so Graves is very well accelerated in terms of for that early clear, but I think that it's worth it overall.
Frisky taking a Rye hook in. It's a decent trade on 7gen, the Aftershock keeping them very healthy. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the gold lead, it's only about 300 gold. Concrete Muncher just doing Singe things and getting hit by everything, but not actually losing the trade. The burn, the Deathfire touch is doing pretty good for trading back, but look at the Test of Spirit doing decent damage. The Harsh Lesson as well, chunking out Concrete Muncher pretty low, and they have to run away from the wave. Panay, they go looking for this engage, gets the smite on the blue buff. The Fool about half HP, never move, misses. It's a scrap 4v4 near the jungle. Big snare onto the Fool, who has to flash away. Zig tries to flash fall, but they can't secure the kill. 7gen has to flash away as well, as Zig is just almost dead to that Feral EV. Flashed away from the hooks. The Jellybean Jeff over the wall. Can they get the kill? They do. The Death's Hand at full burst with the shotgun shell gets the kill. But Zig walks in Feral EV. They take the damage. They get exploded. And now Frisky gets the root. Can Jellybean Jeff secure the kill? It's a good never move. Drags him away from the blast cone. Great angle on that. And Panay is here to clean it up with the buckshot. In the end, the fight near the jungle is an insanity. But it is a 2-for-1 for the side of Mint. They lose their 80 carry, but they get 2 in return.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if anything, then this shows I'd say positive signs of life from Mint. That last game was so devastating for them. I was kind of concerned if they were going to be just so heavily demoralized, and even with an aggressive team composition, maybe they would be getting punished. But no, not at all. They make those aggressive moves inside of Faceless's bottom side jungle, get kills for themselves. They took off Feral Eevee's GA passive, sorry, egg passive. So the Swain should be a little bit safer here. They got gold onto Graves, which I think might be the most important part. Like, you need this Graves to be accelerated. Having that faster clear is important for one, but now also getting that gold from those kills is huge. Concrete Muncher not having a fun time up here in top lane.
Already burns the flash as Illaoi just beats him down with the Test of Spirit. I mean, broken bones teach better lessons is the lesson here, and Concrete Muncher are having to burn that summoner spell. They are not able to get out of the lane, but big engage on a 7gen here, who takes a big chunk. 7gen with the Boomerang Blade trades back aggressively. The Sivir in a good spot after that fight with the Cull, and the Lucian only going back with the longsword and the glowing mode. So in the end, it's Faceless still at a bit of a gold lead thanks to the huge farm advantage that the Illaoi secured, but it's not over for them yet. If they keep it cool, they do have very powerful scaling with the Sivir, with the Swain, with the Graves.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of them getting some gold in either through kills or assists. And like, with that Cull, right, Zig is more than comfortable than to farm it out, as does Sivir, right? Sivir can scale quite well into late game. So even if you don't have a massive lead early, you're still quite comfortable. Frisky has been landing some, I would say, decent hooks so far as this bottom lane is concerned. But Mint, I think the most important thing is just once again facilitate that Graves. And you can see Ney going early onto that drag, I think for the first time this series.
7gen getting a huge chunk though, rooted up by the staggering blow. Jump back in with the dash, but they're going to go down to the Riptide and the Ignite. A bit too much aggression from 7gen, who didn't have either summoner to secure that last auto attack on Zig, and it means that the bot lane of Mint Ice Cubes go up ahead, but Zig pushing forward. The Fool sees Panay on this, but they do get the smite secure, and it's going to be the Fool now getting run down with the dogs, gets that the Call of the Pack to jump out, but a great hook on the angle, gets the drag back from the Never Move, and Panay picking up their second kill of the game. What a great hook from Frisky to dodge every dog there, and they actually get another kill for their team. So Mint Ice Cube secure Dragon and secure 2 in the bot lane. They are starting to get a bit of a lead. That is exactly what you want to see with this bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, bottom lane going quite well now for the side of Mint. Top lane, certainly still a point of struggle, as Concrete Muncher has kind of been trapped under tower as Singe. Kind of ironic as far as the champion itself is concerned. But King of Spades not letting that pressure go away. But yeah, we were talking about this in champ selects, right? Lucian is either a champion that's wildly successful as far as lane is concerned.
Oh, Test the Spirit into the Leap of Faith. Big damage on a Concrete Muncher.
Can't keep this going, right? Like, Concrete Muncher's more than healthy enough. The Singed here still has that insanity.
Risky missing the hook, gets kicked back with the Ultra Mega Fire Kick, but yeah, like you said, Lucian not very useful right now, only a sheen to the BF sword of Zig's Sivir. This is the win con, and if Zig can space out those late game fights, I mean, if you can dodge the Feral Eevee's Crystallize, there's not really any hard CC that Faceless can actually land on the Sivir, so it's really up to Zig to carry in the team fights. We've seen them do it before in the season. Can they do it where it matters most?
Nice dash there from 7gen, narrowly avoiding the dredge line from Frisky. But yeah, this bot lane is it's not going to feel good for the Lucian at the moment. Like, the itemization certainly balanced towards the Sivir. And we haven't seen the Graves, get another kill recently. Like, I really want to accelerate that game for the Graves. And they're in mid lane. We haven't talked too much about this lane specifically. Jellybean Jeff and Feral Eevee, they're kind of just farming it out. They're doing the little Spider-Man pointing meme. As you can see, both of them have that Catalyst of Eons in the inventory. They're just trying to play more for sustain and farm than anything else, it seems. But with that Glacial Storm from Fool, should be able to push out the lane a little bit more efficiently than Swain.
Yeah, we do want to point out that it is Panay on that Youmuu's power spike already. If I'm Mint Ice Cubes, which I'm not, and I'm not saying I'm better than these players, I definitely am not, but if I'm them, Zig can be very comfortable just clearing waves. I want to see the Nautilus be more active on the map with Panay and getting them ahead as we see the ultimate invested. Smokescreen on the Anivia. Feral Eevee slowed up. They do have the flash, but Jellybean Jeff's just walking them down. It is secure in the Void Grubs. The flash never moved. Does not secure the drag back on Feral Eevee, but they do decide to flash. It's a big stun on Jellybean Jeff, who's taken quite low. The Fool with the Hound's Pursuit. Big damage. Called the pack as well. Panay is here to make a difference, but can they 1v2? They cannot, and Jellybean Jeff does go down. Pops the ultimate. It is King of Spades with that leap of faith. Concrete Muncher taking
oh my lord,
just kill him. 7gen taken so low with the ignite, pops the barrier, gets the breath of life as well, and the heal so much to keep this Lucian alive. But Zig is still more healthy, and Frisky is still able to tank up so much of that. So bot lane heavily goes in the favor of Mint, but Faceless are taking everything else on the top side.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a monstrous lead for the Alawi in the top side, getting that solo kill, but also being 40 CS up at 9.5 minutes. Feels incredible for King of Spades, having that completed item as well. So I don't think, really, that Concrete Muncher is going to be able to contest this Alawi, especially with that Sundered Sky in the inventory. But like elsewhere on the map, it just feels like things are so much more tense for Mint, right? Like, mid lane is a bit of a wash. Like Jellybean Jeff is playing, more for as a frontline slash, AP bruiser presence as this Swain, but that also means that you're not hard threatening Feral Eevee on this Anivia. And then bot lane, like I'd say that Sivir and Nautilus are quite healthy. Like you're having the way better end of things. There was another slim margin by which 7gen did not get, almost died.
Yeah, man. King of Spades
this is so
good on the skill
It's so unfun.
With the Urgot, with now the Alawi, it just feels like every skill shot they need to hit, they just land it dead on. And it means the Test of Faith just takes out Concrete Muncher's health bar in an immaculate fashion. One thing I do want to mention as a guy who does enjoy a couple of Swain games themselves, this early build of the rush of the Ninja Tabbies means that it's going to be a really long time before Swain can secure the Rod of Ages. We're seeing the Anivia on the back does get it already, so that's going to be quite accelerated. I mean, Swain's not even on that blasting wand, so the fact is, Jellybean Jeff's going to not hit that power spike for quite a while.
Yeah, and that also means that Feral Eevee's sustain for the lane. Like you have the completed Roa, and now you're also continuing to stack up your tier. I don't really imagine that Anivia is going to run Bloom anytime soon. So that weakness has kind of been shored up, as it always would have been. There in top lane, King of Spades, this is playing for the tower.
Yep, King of Spades gets first turret, and Concrete Muncher just has to run away and try to kill the wave. The Fool is here top, but it does mean Mint Ice Cube secure the second dragon at a very early pace. Concrete Muncher running under turret, flashes.
Oh no.
Flash into the wall, the Fool popping the Hound's Pursuit and flashes to follow. Concrete Muncher goes down for a third time this game. They are not having a great game. Called the Hunt activated though. 7gen getting knocked up by the depth charge, but look at Panay in the backside. This Milio has nowhere to run. They flash, they try to escape, but look at the damage. The collateral damage is big. 7gen actually gets one traded back on Zig. They flash away, but it's a flash follow. Panay just blows them up with that point-blank buckshot. So it is 4 kills for the Graves, extremely far ahead, but it still is 7gen's Lucian picking one back up in return. So the Sivir still not able to secure that first item or secure the kill on the Lucian is pretty important. The gold lead still heavily in the favor of Faceless just through the Alawi pressure. Is there a play here for the Swain? He's looking for something, but not finding much as they finally spot out King of Spades on the recall. He does have ultimate, though. Can Jellybean Jeff actually kill him here? He doesn't have a lot of damage. Taking a lot of it. Pops the Demonic Ascension. Flipped out of the ultimate.
No mana on Alawi.
Out of mana, but look at the damage from the Tentacle Smash. Is there enough from this Alawi? Huge healing from that Test of Spirit. And it's just, yeah, like we said, there's just not enough damage. The Milio's now here. Can they do it? Look at the healing from the Cozy Campfire. King of Spades does have to flash out due to the not having any mana, but it's just not enough. The Swain going for the super tanky build. Yes, you can survive, but you actually can't kill them, especially when a King of Spades has not have to worry about any anti-heal and just healing up so much from the Sundered Sky. It's a disgusting amount of healing from the Alawi.
Yeah, and as you said, right, like that Roa isn't even completed for Jellybean Jeff. Does have that blasting one in the inventory now, but you compare that with Feral Eevee, you're potentially looking at somewhere between like a 3 and 5 minute like advantage over that Swain as far as the Roa is concerned. So it's It's very frustrating to see Jellybean Jeff in this sort of position. Like, they're just not able to get anything.
Oh, King of Spades.
Oh,
Concrete Monster didn't take the reset, and
going to
be a Hound Pursuit, and I think this is an easy one. Yeah, the Fool just gonna get the bleed, and King of Spades blasts him with that death. I think it's Deathfire Touch probably on the Alawi or something that got the bleed, but now Panay looking for the Nefiri doing big damage, but the collateral damage gets intangible. Then now Zig in some danger. There's 280 carries trying to kill this Alawi, who tries to take the Hex Gate. Hooked back in. They don't have the ultimate. Frisky now, though, walled off from the Anivia. And is there enough? There is. The second shot of that end of the line gets the kill. Panay, big shutdown on this carry, and now I think they're looking for the Nefiri, who might have stuck around too long. Panay looking for the hunt. The bullets do not land. Call of the Pack is good, but last end of the line gets another shutdown. That is 2 massive amounts of gold sent directly into Panay's wallet on the Graves. If there's anyone who can carry this game, it's going to be this Graves here.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the game plan for Mint Ice Cubes. It really feels like it's Graves against the world. I mean, taking a look at the gold between these two teams, like, best, right? Like, there is, like, Lucian and Sivir are very close, right? Like, they are separated by something like 50, 60 gold, which is, you know, at this point functionally even. But everywhere else, there is an advantage for Mint, with the sole exception of...
Oh, we're back in on mid. Breath of Life used. 7gen looking for the angle, but can't get the angle on the culling now. Panay is here. Big damage. Dashes away. Smokescreen already used. Hook back onto the Milio. Rooted up. A Vision of Empire, as well as Atomic 6 gets blasted. The end of the line, the second explosion, just one auto, and the Collector collects the payment, as it's going to be Panay's 7th kill on the Graves. Goes legendary on this champion. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. This is the carry you want, and it's the carry you need for this game.
Yeah, and like that's what I was saying. Like, you know, there is a gold lead for everybody on the side of Faceless, with the exception of Panay on this Graves. The guy is, you know, 8,000 gold compared to the Fool's like just under 6. This Graves is monstrous, has those 2 completed items in the inventory already, and despite being 7-0, just because of like the entire pacing of the game, the Graves doesn't have a bounty on him yet. But here is a huge problem.
This has to be very careful. Ultimate use, the Leap of Faith is good, and King of Spades is healing so much from the damage. Jellybean Jeff has the ultimate permanently, but I don't know if they can actually kill this Alawi as they dodge out the hook. Concrete Muncher gets the flip. Explosion gets it as well, but look at the damage onto Concrete Muncher. Finally, they get the kill. Concrete Muncher does manage to get the burn down. Very lucky that Mint Ice Cubes don't get hit by too many tentacles and let the Alawi heal back up, but it is 3 members sent there for just 1 kill. Means the Mint Ice Cubes lose that mid-tier 2, and I think that means they lose this potential 3rd dragon unless this TP does something. It's a TP from Jellybean Jeff. Concrete Muncher as well. Jellybean Jeff walled off with the Crystallize, and it's going to be secured by the side of the Fool. Jellybean Jeff still looking for something, though. Flash never move. Oh my god, hits 4! Huge damage from the collateral damage, as it's going to be Feral Eevee now getting run down. The Singed is chasing. The egg form is good, but this is surely an icy cold omelet in the hands of Panay. What a beautiful pullback from Jellybean Jeff. I mean, I've seen this guy hit 4-man shockwaves, but a 4-man never move is exactly what you need to get back in this game. They secure 2 off of that, and I think they're going to also go for this mid lane turret.
That was like a Chinese, like, League of Legends TikTok clip that we just saw. You
Absolutely.
know, flashing, getting the 4-man never move, setting up the rest of the team. Like, yes, you don't get the objective, but you're getting more and more gold into Panay's pocket. This Graves that is such a monster and has yet to be killed. But
Jellybean Jeff under some threats.
Yeah,
Can you chase down the King of Spades who really wants this?
Yeah, you really want this, but you're allowing. Right?
Like, back in on the Alawi. They do have the ultimate. Pops the Leap of Faith. Kick back on Frisky. There's a drag back with the Test of Spirit, and there's just so much tentacle damage on this Nautilus. The TP in.
Well. Whoa!
Eevee, that TP sucked. They get flipped back in. They have no egg, and they just get run down. They get turned into absolute paste as the omelet just disappears. Panay, though, looking for the Fool, who's recalling in the bush. There's no vision on it. Jellybean Jeff gets a nice never move, dragging back in the Nefiri. The calling for suppressive fire. MMO Frisky gets a huge depth charge on the back line. A big collateral damage as well. Gets 1. It's another one. It gets 2. It's Panay here getting 3. It's a triple kill for the Graves. Again, we said it, and again, I'm going to say it again. This is the Graves you need to carry the game now at 13 kills. That is bad luck for the side of Faceless, and Panay is feeling themselves Mint Ice Cubes roar to life in this mid game and take it down 3 more members. It is now them at a gold lead for the first time in this game here, True.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a monstrous performance from Panay, who finally does have that bounty above his head. You can see it is almost a 4,000. It is a 4,000 gold lead for this Graves over counterpart in the Fool on the Fury. And it's just disgusting what Panay is able to do, because the rest of the team is facilitating Graves so much over and over and over again. Now, I will say, kind of helped out by some very questionable decision making, let's say from Feral Eevee with that last fight.
Yeah, but that TP sucked.
Yeah, but like, this is also not to take away from what Mint is doing correctly, right? Like, yes, like the Singed has been beaten hilariously, like, but at the end of the day, Mint's game plan is get Graves fed, and if that's what's happening, that's exactly what they want. You know, we saw Jellybean Jeff with that fantastic Never Move earlier. Mint are just playing for Graves, playing for Panay to solo carry the game.
Muncher, he's surely just dead, right?
He's gone.
House Pursuit, and this guy's just gone like the wind. And I mean, this is just the problem with Singed, right? We talked about it. Sometimes it just looks completely useless, but Rift Herald used mid. There's someone answering the Alawi up top, and you would have to push to the tier 3 to get much more of that. Feral Eevee gonna trade back this bottom lane turret, but can the 3-man of Mint Ice Cube keep going mid? We'll have to find out. They choose not to go for the Herald. It looks like they're trying to collapse on the Alawi. Jellybean Jeff, though, doesn't have the Rylai's, can't actually catch up. Zig popping the Call of the Hunt. King of Spades sees them and is just going to try to turn. Smokescreen stops the vision. End of the line is good. Test of Spirit does not hit. Panay trying to run down for that close-up buckshot damage, and it's going to be a hook in for another kill secured for the Graves. But with that, so many members top means they completely give over mid. I think this is going to be the mid lane tier 2 unless Panay can do something about it. They walk up close, dodge the fire kick, and just clear the wave with one shot. Concrete Muncher, though, maybe this is where the Singed gets useful. 7gen's cornered. They pop the culling, but they get knocked up, and they get exploded by that. The ultimate. Now Jellybean Jeff looking for 2. Oh, but he misses or actually, it's a flash away from that Never Move, and somehow, some way, Lucian's not dead yet. 7gen able to clear the wave. I think this is going to be a walk him down from Frisky as they see him. Misses the hook, but Concrete Muncher is here to help secure. Panay is here as well. Maybe an execute, though. Oh, great execute from 7gen. Wastes a lot of time, and it's not the side of Mint being able to actually hit anything. Jellybean Jeff does force the flash out of the Milio, though.
I mean, look, if you're 7gen, that's a huge win. Right, like you don't give any more additional gold over. You're able to get some farm on the back end of it all. But that being said, Faceless is still in a very precarious position. There's so much gold on this Graves.
Yeah, but the Graves didn't actually get a chance to buy from the last reset here, True. Oh, big Never Move on to 2, but a great wall into the Breath of Life keeps I Am Atomic alive. Test of Spirit chunks the Nautilus down to about half HP, running away from the tentacles. This Dragon's going down pretty quickly. Never Move on to King of Spades, who pops the flash test, a leap of faith, but it gets secured at third Dragon. King of Spades chunking low, and he gets one shot by the Graves. The Fool looking for more, but they just can only get the useless Singe. The flash forward to secure another one from the Graves, who looks forward for 7gen, gets kicked back. Dash through Crystallize. Smokescreen is good slow, but I don't think they can chase through the Glacial Storm. So big plays again from both Jeff and Panay, who secure the Dragon Soul point. They secure 2 kills, one of them being on that Mega Fed Alawi. But Jellybean Jeff walking up very far. They don't have the ultimate. They're just going to get walled back. They pop the Zhonya's, but Panay is here. Big damage. One more auto. End of the line doesn't connect, though. 7gen almost kills Panay, but he dashes in to get a face full of buckshot and just gets exploded. And another one goes over to the Graves as the setup from Frisky is there. Panay now 17-0 on the Graves. Has more kills than the entire team. Almost doubled from the side of Faceless. I gotta keep saying it, man, here, True. This Graves is absolutely 1v9ing right now, and that's exactly what Mint Ice Cubes need for their playoff dreams. And Frisky, what are you doing, man? He just walks up and dies to the Anivia for free.
I mean, like, let's put this into context here, right? Like, Panay has 1/3 of his entire team's gold, right?
Oh, wait.
1/3.
The chase down, though. Concrete Muncher in a bit of danger, drops the Mega Adhesive, tries to flip back the Fool, and now the wall is really good at keeping Concrete Muncher in, but there's just not enough access to this guy. They can't get too close. And they're going to back off. It's the side of the Faceless choosing to walk away. This Graves really needs to spend some of that 1/3 of the team's gold here. True, they have not reset in forever.
Oh yeah, they're sitting on like 3.2k in the pocket, right? That's functionally a completed item. And it's only going to make the Graves scary, right? Just
that's completed
full
IE.
buy IE. Like this is a crit Graves. Right? Like I think Graves gets like 2 additional projectiles when critting, and then just like the way that works is like it just becomes so extremely disgustingly bursty, and really the entirety of Faceless's composition here is just squishy, right? Like there's not a single person who has any sort of armor built, with the exception of King of Spades. But that's not much. And at the end of the day, Graves just doesn't really care. Like this is, I would argue that really it's going to feel like Panay is doing true damage to almost every single member of Faceless, and not a single one of them can do anything about it. Like their one hope is like to land a Nibia stun and somehow burst Graves 100 to 0. Or sorry, yeah, 100 to 0, and that's it. It's either that or win the map. I will say Faceless has controlled the map really well in spite of how dangerous this Graves is, because Mint's composition is not great at pushing, especially into the face of something like the Anivia. Like if Mint is going to hope to push in deep, they need to secure Baron. Because if they can't do that, then they're kind of locked in this very annoying pattern of like, oh, well, you know, Graves can almost one-shot anybody, but we can't push because if Anivia is still up, because Anivia will just clear our waves.
Oh, wait, never move. Hits on the Anivia. Frisky is here. Has the ultimate, drops it on the Nefiri, who times the intangible a little bit off. Frisky taking up the calling. Big damage from 7gen. Takes the Graves and Jellybean Jeff to about half HP. There's no Zhonya's available on the Swain, but I'm pretty sure Graves can just two-shot a couple of jungle monsters and go back to full HP. But Dragon is spawning in about a minute and a half. They need to reset now. Jellybean Jeff choosing to walk up. Takes a bit of a chunk. I think they're maybe looking for the gold to finish the Zhonya, so they have that active for the next fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that I do want to point out here, is that the longer you give Faceless, the more likely it is that they are going to just be able to stall out super hard. Like, yes, Graves is a monster, but this Anivia is getting more and more in her pocket to allow to stall the game out. This is going to be Hex Soul up in a minute for the side of Mint. Like, they can secure this. This will make their job that much easier. Like, they really, really want to close this game out, because I think, if you let this go beyond 30 minutes, the timer is starting to work against you. Graves' damage is going to feel less and less relevant as time goes on, but also that Anivia is going to become more annoying. We're also still seeing that 7gen is hitting, a bit more of a point of relevance, despite being 1 and 7 on this Lucian, still able to do a decent chunk of damage if you're still staying untouched in these fights. So Mint, they need to secure this soul that's up in now just under 30 seconds. It's like Faceless, they are making their way into this river.
Yeah, inside track for Mint. Panay, oh my gosh, had a great
never move.
Back. Earl Eevee almost dies. Hook back in on King of Spades, who tries them off the ulti, but they just die to the Collector. Concrete Muncher gets the flip back on 7gen, and look at the Graves damage, another double kill for them. They pop the egg, Atomic goes down as well, and the egg just gets shattered. It's a triple for Panay. It is just Panay and Jellybean Jeff all day, baby. The never moves hit into the follow-up from Frisky, and that's all Panay needs to go absolutely duck hunting on the back line. That was a great team fight for Mint. I literally don't think of a single way that could have won better unless they get the Nefiri, who is trying to push out mid, but this is strange that they don't have Panay here, who does have the smite, but it looks like since both junglers aren't here, there's no chance of a cross map to secure the dragon in response. So, a bit confusing, but it does work out for Mint, because now the Fool trying to secure dragon, and Panay is here, can just one-tap them. End of the line, almost kills the Fool. Dash forward with the quick draw. Oh my lord, that is the crit you were talking about there, True. Just one-tapping the dogs. I mean, that's not how you play Duck Hunt properly, but he does get the kill on the dog. Excuse me, kills the Drake as well, and a couple autos for Hextech Soul, and it's Baron as well for Mint. They have every mega buff outside of the Elder, and I think they're going to need that lead if they, and get that confidence back for this game 3, hopefully turning into a victory for a chance at game 4. That is a full build Graves, 21 kills on Panay on this champion.
21 bomb, and the game isn't even over yet. Panay is a monster this game, but also, shout out to Jellybean Jeff, who in a lot of these critical moments, finding these huge never moves to just pull people in, disrupt the fight, and really now with this Baron buff, you can already see that in effect there in top lane, right? It's so much harder for Anivia to kill the waves. Anivia showing up there in top lane means the rest of this 4-man squad.
Oh, look at the Fool who pops the intangibility early, has to flash away in fear of the depth charge. It's a teleport immediately from Feral Eevee, who can clear the wave now. Jellybean Jeff stuck on the other side of the wall. They're knocked up. They're taking a lot of damage, but they're quite tanky, popping the Demonic Extension. And it's King of Spades who has to flash out the Zhonya's pop from Jellybean Jeff. The Demonic Extension. Oh my god, look at the damage! That was the collateral damage that just ended the lives of two. The hook gets intangible, but the Fool getting run down by Concrete Muncher, who's finally useful, and a double kill again. The crit spreads out for a quadra. Kane wants the Penta, but I think they'd rather have the game win.
No, they're going. They're going.
Concrete Muncher throws in, and it's going to be a Penta kill for Big Panay on the Graves, 26-0. That was a masterclass, I think, here, True, for Mint Ice Cubes. For Panay's Graves, who completely just 1v9 with the help of their team. Jellybean Jeff sets it up, and Panay knocks it down, and we're taking it to Game 4. Mint Ice Cubes punch back strong. Hello, FPL fans. We return to bring you the finale of Season 4. It's the grand finals of Franchise Premier League between Mint Ice Cubes and Faceless, as Faceless are up 2 games. Mint Ice Cubes at 1 after that last superstar performance from the best, or highest rated jungler, in the entire league, Panay. Nessa Poha going just absolutely sicko mode with the pentakill in that last game, but it's Kevin Dunk and True taking you through this with the help of Shavam. We're already seeing Panay walking up on Feral Eevee, getting that.
Oh wait, they landed the undertow.
Slow. Can they keep chasing though? Concrete Muncher is going to continue, and Panay is just farming orbs off the Fool. King of Spades finally making it here. Jellybean Jeff making it as well. The Death Sentence hits on the Indra, but Panay might just get first blood. They just run down the score, it's absolute chaos at this level 1. Not even a minute in, there's a kill. Feral Eevee's taken solo, and oh my lord, a flash forward for a double! Panay does go down to the flash forward with the undertow. Concrete Muncher goes down to the turret, and in less than a minute in, there's 5 kills to this game. Both teams going absolutely psychotic before the minions even reach the wave. What an insane start to Game 4 here, True. I didn't even get through our intros, but damn, what a start to Game 4 of the Grand Finals.
You know, I think the team's... Oh, wait, 7gen in a lot of trouble.
7gen might be in some danger. Taking a huge chunk here. The Zephyr doing decent damage. Oh my lord, 7gen taken so low. Dark Harvest proc as well from Zig. I mean, a flash 4th shot will for sure kill 7gen if he doesn't bury her in time.
So there are some big takeaways here from that level 1, right? Obviously, King of Spades does have the benefit of teleport, so even in spite of 1 death apiece there in top lane, you are going to see that Yorick is going to hit that early level 2 and is pressuring Concrete Muncher on this Olaf quite effectively. But other than that, oh wait, Concrete Muncher in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, Concrete Muncher just, okay, not going to die because King of Spades doesn't have the cage just yet, but... I mean, one thing to bring up is that Kane just gets to start with a pickaxe. Yes. His clear is going to be absolutely, even more disgustingly fast than it is already. King of Spades, though, doesn't have flash, hits the mist, but it's only 1 ghoul, so Concrete Muncher being able to pick up this wave is going to be much safer afterwards. King of Spades going to, I think, take the reset, though.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, that pickaxe should accelerate Kane's ability to clear through the jungle so much faster than is normal, especially in comparison, because Garner here only didn't really get anything outside of a single assist. So Panay extremely happy to come away with that pickaxe there in the bottom lane. 7gen getting really, really pressured as this Varus, as the Jinx, the Jhin and the Janna have been able to just walk up and pressure the Varus until 7gen gets his reset in. That's going to be a precarious situation for him down there in bottom lane. For mid lane, right? Interestingly enough,
Concrete Muncher fighting aggressively. Concrete Muncher getting trapped in that cage of the kitties actually takes a bit more of a trade, but they've hit the level 4, and King of Spades has to back off. In those extended trades, the fact that Concrete Muncher has the Conqueror and can stack it up so quickly means that King of Spades can't really take those long fights. As 7gen, again, pressured, like you said, Zephyr just for the poke. Oh, the Root and the Dark Harvest, but I thought Zig was going to flash there and kill him with the Execute, but chooses not to, and I think 7gen is just forced out of lane. That might be better than the kill if Zig and and Frisky can keep the wave here, but 7gen walking up for the farm. This is quite dangerous. If the Jhin hits a deadly flourish, I think that's a kill, but they're not going to go for it.
Level up saves 7gen, even if that deadly flourish hits there. I think that Vera stays alive critically. But I think that it's like you are right. It's an annoying position for 7th Gen to be in because you so desperately want to back, but you are going to have that opportunity now. Zig and Frisky should be more than capable of pushing this in. Oh, they cancel the backs, actually.
And the Varus plays chicken and gets canceled as well. Wait, the Flay in under turret, though. Frisky taken so low. The heal, though, is good. Flash auto with the Flay passive gets the kill. Frisky just walking up too damn far. Concrete Muncher now in the cage of cats, looking for the 1v1 on
those minions hurt.
The other two, and the minions hurt really bad, and Concrete Muncher almost gets the kill back, but the level down just means they cannot do it. It is King of Spades getting a solo kill there on the Olaf, making it big, able to crash in, I think, a pretty decent wave as well. Concrete Muncher can't TP back.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was already a punish from level 1 because King of Spades on the Yorick was able to TP into the lane, and that kill is only going to further the gap between the two top laners here with a Fool. For a potential gank onto Jellybean Jeff.
Eevee has the cage. Jellybean Jeff has to flash out of it. The Fool slows him with that shattered or the upheaval. Gets the pin into the wall. Is there enough damage here? I just don't think Feral Eevee can do it. Jellybean Jeff now walking back up for the shards. Hits the Force of Will. Whips absolutely everything on the Fool. But it's fine because they didn't die. So they did invest the flash though. There's just not enough damage from the Veigar.
Yeah, I mean, like, overall in that situation, I think if Veigar is level 6 there, that's a completely different story, and I think we probably are looking at a dead Jellybean Jeff there. But because, you know, there is no ultimate available, there is no primordial burst for that Veigar, Jellybean Jeff is able to survive by virtue of being able to reach out. Otherwise, though, like, top lane is kind of what I was talking about, right? Like, even if Olaf is scary, you're able to extend out trades, or you're able to kind of dissuade, and now Concrete Muncher's in a whole ton of trouble.
Yeah, getting run down by the Maiden, but now the Shadow walk through the wall. King of Spades misses the mist as Concrete Muncher goes back in for some damage. They do go down, though, but it is traded back from Panay, who is the person you want having those kills. Jellybean Jeff getting ganked, though. Flash cage. Is it good enough? Jellybean Jeff looking for something, tries to walk out, and it's just going to be, I think, a death sentence if I Am Atomic can hit this. They do. And it does, unfortunately, get the KS, but it is still a kill secured for the side of Faceless on their mid lane opponent. Jellybean Jeff's just so vulnerable without that flash.
It was excessive from I Am Atomic to throw out that sentence at that point. Like, the Syndra is already certainly dead. You don't have flash available. That's just going to be a kill for either the Fool or Feral Eevee, who are the targets you want the gold to go onto. But Thresh is able to Thresh unfortunately just yoinks it away, now 2-0, you know, tied for highest kills on your team. Gold between these two teams is a dead even heat, but Panay, you know, like, there is that concern, right? You already have a complete.
Wait, Panay, can they get the steal? They do! They with the Cyclo Sword, they're gonna keep fighting too. The curtain call used. I Am Atomic taking a bullet, taking two, taking the third and fourth shots. Panay is taken quite low, but they have the Umbral Trespass. The stun hits on the Skarner. Is there enough damage? There is. Jeff kills him with the Force of Will. Panay taken low, but is still going to survive. 7th Gen looking for an angle, but Frisky sees them and is gonna hit them with the knockup. 7th Gen just getting forced out by this Janna, who's baiting for the Kane to show up. Gets a big heal from that Shadow Step, but they can't keep going as Zig, I don't think, has the Deadly Flourish available. So in the end, it is a big steal from Mint. They steal away the Dragon. They get a lot of gold onto Jellybean Jeff from that kill. And the bot side, or sorry, the jungler, the jungle mid combo, I think, of Mint Ice Cubes, when they're on, they're absolutely on fire. Oh, Panay now looking for a gank.
Flying in.
Eevee taken low, slowed up by the Cyclo Sword. Jellybean Jeff looking to line up the orb. They hit it. They have the Unleashed Power, and they just unleash it on Feral Eevee for the kill. Bot lane, though, heavy trading. 7th Gen eats the 4th shot and almost dies to it. Zig and Frisky fighting back hard against the Thresh and the Varus.
And you can see that Zig rushed boots in this situation. He just wants as much movement speed as possible. Stay on it, quick on his feet to make sure you dodge away from Thresh up, dodge away from Varus trying to walk up for those Chains of Corruption. Zig, as well as Frisky, just playing around with all the movement speed that they can possibly get. But as you said, that mid-jungle combo between Panay and Jellybean Jeff finally coming to fruition here in game number 4. As you can see, this Kane is getting very, very scary. As you said, Muncher in a little bit of trouble. I think at this point you've kind of learned to respect the Maiden, right?
I hope so.
Like, it looks like the Grubs are going to get started up. That should be uncontested for the side of Faceless here at this point. But, like, you can see the divide between Panay as opposed to... Wait, what?
Wait, what? I thought they had Cyclo Sword. What
Panay sold Cyclo Sword.
What the heck
What?
is that? Did they make a mistake there? That is very strange.
I'm so confused.
Maybe they tried to click
Like,
form and they messed up and they accidentally sold it? That is a pretty big blunder to make in the grand finals. But now
it's a huge mistake.
Nice knockback means they're safe. But yeah, that is insane. I mean, yeah, sure, you're red Kane at less than 10 minutes, which is huge, but you just lost an entire fully completed item. I'm not too sure what that was, but hopefully it doesn't impact the game in any meaningful way, because that would be really bad.
Yeah, it must have attempted to this must be attempted to choose form, then sold Cyclosword, then form proc so you couldn't press undo. Like, that's my only guess. But
Yeah.
that kind of undoes a lot of Pinay's lead-ins. Like, that's a devastating mistake.
Yeah, considering it's like what, 30% of the gold just disappears. That 1k gold lead is practically non-existent now for the side of Min.
Yeah, I mean, like, certainly still accelerated on the camp clearing, but like, yeah, that's really glaringly bad from Pinay. Like, we were constantly singing his praises for the past, I don't know how many minutes, including Game 3, but ooh, that is an egregious error. If it was unintentional. As far as the other lanes are concerned, yes, Concrete Muncher continuing to have a bad time, but speaking of having a bad time, Feral Eevee also struggling, going for those double scaling items with the Roa as well as the Seraphs.
Jeff, though, in some danger. Oh, great! Our Scatter the Weak cancels the Impale, but they still have to flash. Interesting that they flashed away from the meter, but maybe they saw I Am Atomic coming, who now gets knocked up. Pinay, without that item, is a little bit weaker than expected, but the Force of Will hits too. Pinay has the angle for the knockup, but can't get in close enough. Frisky making the roam here, has the Monsoon available to keep Jeff healthy. Maybe Jeff walked in too close, though, who tries to get the full burst, but just walks way up in the wave. There's a lot of mystery happening in this game, but now the Fool looking for the angle on the Janna, gets the knock into the wall, but now the Janna flashed away to survive that, so Mint Ice Cube looking pretty disconnected here and losing not only their mid laner, but also losing their support Flash, so a bit confusing on what the heck is going on, but Faceless capitalize it and get another kill onto the Veigar.
Yeah, and with Dragon spawning in just about 35 seconds or so, this should be, I think, Faceless's opportunity to set up for that objective. Looks like they're getting Feral Eevee's reset in, which is fine. So it's the right choice. They need to push in the bot lane as well, but that would be the potential second Dragon for the side of Mint, and it looks like they know it. They tried to have Jellybean Jeff come down for a roam, but they're calling off of that decision. Dragon will be spawning here relatively shortly. You can see that Pinay not on that side of the map quite yet, but neither team seems to be in a rush to set up for the Dragon on spawn. Seeing the resets actually coming in from 7gen and I Am Atomic, so actually Mint should have the flexibility to just set up for this and potentially look for it, but Russian Bear should be redeploying. Feral Eevee gets the wave pushed.
Mint's not going for it immediately, though. Maybe they think that there's a
trap. Yeah.
Oh, Concrete Muncher might be dead here. Nice break of the cage just in time. The Maiden doing decent damage. And yeah, I think they're just a bit too spooked. They're a bit suspicious, and now it just means Faceless get more time back on the map. Pinay is taking it down pretty low. Zig doesn't kill this very fast. A trap goes out for the slow. They root up Thresh. He's taking a lot of damage, gets the knockup as well, but the Aftershock is keeping them healthy, but it just goes down immediately. The Monsoon keeps them healthy. The Skarner comes in and kills Zig, and Pinay has to pop the Umbral Trespass. And it is Syndra walking away. Pinay jumping out, gets impaled, though. A knockup at the same time for the buffer. Can Pinay get in for the healing? They don't have the ultimate. They have the Shadow Step, but they're going to chase down the Primordial Burst to secure it, and it's just Mint Ice Cubes falling apart in that fight. It looked like they had a good angle on the Thresh, but they burned too much on that guy, and it just means the Veigar is completely untouched. It's just so safe with this cage, and they just cannot do anything. Faceless continue to go for this Dragon. Jellybean Jeff getting some decent damage to the TP invested from the Olaf. Can they make something happen on this escape? TP activated, Ragnarok as well. Running down the backline, 7gen goes down. CC Immune still, Feral Eevee now getting run down as they finally get the kill on the Syndra, but CC Immune continues as it's going to be Olaf just running them down. Zig makes it back. Can he kill the Fool fast enough? He cannot. Has to flash over to try to kill the Skarner, but doesn't have vision. But it is going to be Pinay picking this up with that Reaping Slash on the backside. A I Am Atomic does manage to escape, so 3 kills on the exit for Mint, trading over back 2, but King of Spades getting free time on this Yorick, is just completely deleting this tier 2 turret. That is a lot of gold in the hands of the Yorick, and I'm not sure those 3 kills from Concrete Muncher on the bot side really make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good TP, right? It's like fantastic punish. Oh, wait, now King of Spades
running down the Janna, off the
lord.
Shirelias, almost kills, and Jellybean Jeff is down 3 levels on this Yorick. He just cannot walk up. I don't think he has the necessary burst to actually kill that through just the base stats.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously Yorick being a preeminent lane pushing champion, he just absolutely siege down those turrets. And overall, I think that in terms of trying to get something back, right, Concrete Muncher's decision to TP there is reasonable. It's just unfortunate because you are playing against a Yorick who, if Yorick knows he's in an uncontested lane, just has a field day, right? Especially with Maiden up, especially with that Triforce, absolutely just push over turrets. So it was a reasonable response from both top laners given the series of events. Now, you do see that Panay finally has that
danger.
Oh dear.
Gets him in the wall. King of Spades is here. Reaping Slash is good. A nice deadly flourish for the root. Panay heals up a lot from the ultimate, but they're trapped in the cage and get exploded by the Primordial Burst once again. That is the counter to Drain Tanking. It's the full burst, and it feels like Faceless are on the map and Mint Ice Cubes are not. They get pick after pick, and it's making it happen. I'm Atomic walking up. Zig is feels weird because you'd think that the Jhin would be really strong on that first item spike, but it doesn't feel like Zig is able to contribute meaningfully to these fights. I haven't seen a curtain call being used effectively or like the 4th shot execute actually doing a lot so far.
Yeah, it feels like Zig has been more focusing on playing from a distance than like doing something like
flashing the Unleashed Power. Great kill secure after that knockback from Jellybean Jeff with the mid lane turret. Herald is used, 3 people here to defend, and I think it's going to go down. Unless Curtain Call is used. Great job from Ragnarok to split up the fight. Goes through the cage, doesn't get hit by the hook because he's immune, baby, and Panay makes it back to the fight and turns it around. Zig with a great Curtain Call. I guess I caster blessed him from that because, I mean, I was waiting for it, and he got a great one to split up the fight. Means they pick up 2 in the mid lane after an over push from Faceless. But again, every time something happens on the map, it is Mint Ice Cubes losing to the Yorick, who might finally go down here after a 4-man play to collapse.
Yeah, and they are getting these kills into Panay's pocket, who's going for a more bruisery build. I think kind of after losing your Voltaic Cyclosword early on, you kind of have to be like, okay, well, my lead is actually kind of like a lie at this point. But you can see, you know, going in.
Though, looking for more. Reaping Slash hits the knockup, waiting for the angle. They miss it, but the Janna hits theirs. The Fool jumping it through the wall with that Ixtal's impact. Oh, great knockup. Look at the burst on 7-gen, but Frisky can't get the kill. It's just the support Janna, and Zig no longer has the ultimate to finish off with the 4th shot. But again, it's forced out. It's really just Panay and Jeff. If these two are in sync and playing at their best, Mint look like the best team in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I did a quick little splinter check on Jellybean Jeff at 77 stacks right now, so it does have that additional true damage on Force of Will, the W for Syndra. So that's clearly why that combo there seems so darn bursty. Doesn't quite have that 80 mark, which is, I think, the Scatter the Weak upgrade. But yeah, this is close between both of these teams. It's once again competitive, but I think a rather consistent through line throughout all of these games so far is that Mint have been able to be scrappy in a lot of these fights and a lot of these games, with the exception of game number 2, but their ability to control the map is generally worse. Like, they don't push down towers very well. King of Spades is doing that work.
King of Spades flashing to get out of the game.
Wait.
TP as well, so Vagar invested TP, thinking that play would continue, so that is a multiple.
And now they're swapping TPs with King of Spades.
What the hell is going on? King of Spades, TP's top, I guess, but now there's no fight here. They almost get the pick on Skarner. The Ragnarok pops. The Fool's just getting run down by the Skarner. A Curtain Call is good for the slow. A flash over on that blast cone, but it's still the root. Panay hits the knockup though. Is there enough damage to flash away? A great knockback. Can I Am Atomic go down? He's still alive, and the flayback on Jeff gets the kill. The Unleashed Power not doing a damn thing. And now it's the cancels the back. King of Spade is just completely wrecking the base, and the TP is not there in time. They're going for the dragon, but somebody needs to go back and stop this Yorick. Atomic risking his life to stop the Olaf. Surely going to go down to the Stride Breaker and the true damage from that reckless swing. So it is going to be Mint Ice Cube securing second dragon.
He's just going for it.
Base is being destroyed. The Nexus turrets are going down. Oh my gosh.
That should be a Nexus turret. No. They can't get much more than the Nexus turret. Like, it's a pretty much borderline impossibility at this point. King of Spades should make it.
Yeah, it's just going to go and get exploded. Jellybean Jeff picking up another one, collecting more splinters as well. So it is half the base gone for Mint Ice Cubes off that play. And Faceless now have an avenue for this Yorick to continue pushing the base. If the macro is not there, it could just be Mint Ice Cubes losing off of a dedicated push. But Concrete Muncher gets flashed on. Can he fight through this? He cannot. He gets hit with the Dark Matter. Feral Eevee flashes forward to secure it. Concrete Muncher tries to live through it with the Tough It Out and just cannot do it as Feral Eevee gets the execute on him with that last W. So good attempt from both players, but only one can succeed. And again, the game is practically dead even. It's a bit of 2k gold lead, but the side of Mint are now going to get a lot of gold and XP from that constant flow of the super minions here, True.
Yeah, I mean, and headed into that fight, right, it looked like Mint, they were getting the things that they wanted. They pop the Ragnarok, they force out the Skarner, they force everyone else to retreat. But the instant response from King of Spades is like, okay, I can see all the members of Mint engaging. They're all going for it. They're going for broke. As long as my team kites this out, I can just push effectively, and that's exactly what happens. They also got the kill on Jellybean Chef afterwards, and then precipitating out of that, just so much pressure from King of Spades. Yes, Mint do come away with the dragon stack, with the cloud stack, but it's a single cloud stack in comparison to really losing half of your base functionally, or like half of your Nexus turrets. It doesn't feel good to take that sort of trade, and it's also global gold that you're giving over, and you're seeing that Faceless is pulling ahead because of it. Like, you have a hull breaker on this Yorick. King of Spades is fully invested in the split pushing game here at this point. And really, it feels like Mint have had yet to figure out a response to how devastating Yorick's split push ability is. As you said, like, this is not to put Zig on hard blast here. Oh, wait,
we got a team fight here. Chains of Corruption hits the Janna. Zig, nice spacing. There's a lot of damage on the Fool, but he's just so damn tanky. They just can't actually get a kill. Jellybean Jeff throws back the Maiden, tries to knock it back and tries to kill it. Jellybean Jeff walking really close to the Yorick.
Yeah, you can't throw the Maiden. Okay.
And he gets the kill, which King of Spades just gets the turret anyway, so it's a turret traded for their life. But again, that's more gold into the pockets of the Yorick. The Fool looking for an angle here, and it looks like the play mid has stopped after a lot of folks burn their ultimates. But yeah, no, you were saying earlier, True, about something.
Oh no, I said okay, so you can't throw the Maiden. So there you go. You got to see that interaction. The other thing is that off of that kill, Jellybean Jeff does hit 100 Splinters of Wrath, so you do now have the execute available on Unleashed Power. So that is a potential avenue. That is something for the side of Mint to work through. I think it's like 120 Force Syndra to get that bonus, and like a bonus additional bit of AP.
Yeah.
And so therefore, Jellybean Jeff is getting closer and closer to that critical mark. The problem is that I think like Mint is absolutely competitive in terms of their ability to fight. It's just that like they have been over-aggressing a little bit too much, pushing a little bit too far. And also Zig, not to put him on blast, but he just hasn't really been effective, right? He has the lowest kill participation on his entire team, and it really, really feels like he's putting the utility in Jhin as a utility carry. But at the same time, he's also not doing much since he only has 4 resists.
Oh, maybe this is a good gank angle, though. 7gen knocked up by the side of the Red Cane. A great angle on that Scatter of the Week. Gets the kill from Jeff as he lands the stun. Now the Shirelli has activated TP as well. Concrete Muncher has the movement speed, but slowed up by the Skarner. They want to keep chasing us. Jellybean Jeff now locked in a really bad spot. Has to flash out of the cage. King of Spades has just so much pressure on this side lane, and somebody always has to answer, and they're trying to push for this mid. It's a TP from the Vagar. Zig makes it back. King of Spades has the flash wave, gets executed by the ultimate. A hook back. Ragnarok popped. Feral even getting run down by that Hex Blade. Is there enough damage through the exhaust? I think there is. Feral Eevee taken so low, but no, look at the damage. I Am Atomic actually kills them with the help of the turret, and a great impale on Frisky. Under turret, Frisky still barely alive. Pinay looking for an angle, but the cage keeps the Vagar safe. A double knock up on the Skarner and the Thresh, but look at the damage getting rained down with the Dark Matter. A great knockback from the Syndra. Is there enough damage? A great response with that locket keeps I Am Atomic alive on single-digit HP, and both teams at death's door. Feral Eevee, though, sees the Kane, and I think is going to try to kill him. Gets the cage, gets the Dark Matter, and Panay greeds for the race and goes down for it. It is Faceless winning out that team fight. Panay going down means they secure that second dragon, denying the soul point.
I mean, like, it's just a series of unfortunate events there for, I'd say, Mint. Like, there are so many small things there. Like, if you just get a little bit more damage, Atomic dies. If that turret had gone down earlier, he would not have the ability to, or likely not have the ability to kill Concrete Puncher. And then there at the very end there, getting the very tail of Event Horizon, of that cage, onto Panay. Does mean that you get the kill. Okay, no executes
the
out
execute
there.
is barely not there. Zig now opening up with the curtain call. 7gen caught by the bullets, but gets the lantern out, and that's the problem, right? Against the Thresh, you can't really land consecutive ultis with the Jhin. But now Concrete Muncher sees an angle, maybe. It's going to get stunned up, hooked through the cage, but has the ultimate to stay safe. But look at the damage. Feral Eevee is starting to scale 3 items. The Rabadons is really hurting, especially against the fact that Olaf has 0 MR.
Yeah, I mean, doing a quick little AP check, right? Feral Eevee does have 832 ability power on this Veigar.
Oh, Jellybean Jeff in some danger. Oh, right on the other side of that cage is going to survive, but they are at risk every time they walk up without their minion wave. Just King of Spades has to back off. But yeah, like the side lane pressure continues. The inhib is back up, thankfully, though, for Mint Ice Cubes, and 7gen whips out the ultimate. Ragnarok has to be popped in response. He's going back in, though, with the undertow. Panay doesn't have the shadow step through the wall. A hook right as the Ragnarok ends, but 7gen now gets too close to the Olaf, and it's going to go down. Concrete Muncher flash out, and is going to survive with the healing. Concrete Muncher taken so low, and they're going to go down, though, to the turret. Panay dragged under turret with the Impale. Heals up a lot with the Umbral Trespass. Is going to jump out with that Darken, the Reaping Slash. Hook back in. Great hook, but Frisky is here. Can they save Panay, who's just drain tanking the hell out of this Thresh? Frisky tries to secure it, and now look at Feral Eevee, who's running them down. Panay dashes out. Cage hits nothing. The Event Horizon is not good enough, but Frisky gets a great knockup. Panay trying to drain tank more. Knockup into the Deadly Flourish. The Jhin finally makes it to the fight.
They're trying so hard.
Damage. Zig almost dies to the explosion from the Dark Matter, and look at the chaos that this Veigar is creating. Monsoon for the healing, and man, this guy's just dropping absolute meteors on them. Low HP bars from the Thresh, from the Skarner, but they're just still not enough to kill them. Zig, just not enough damage, barely. Panay, again, not enough damage, barely, and multiple members from Faceless live on, again, just 10% of their HP.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm Faceless, or sorry, if I'm Mint at this point, I'm like screaming they can't keep getting away with it. Like, seeing so many times throughout this series, so many members of Faceless surviving, like, by the skin of their teeth, and like one of them is Atomic, who's consistently done that so far. It must be deeply, deeply frustrating. But like, King of Spades continuing to be the thorn in Mint's Ice Cube's side. Do have those
big stun. Jellybean Jeff is gonna one-shot Feral Eevee, who even flashes outside of their cage. Huge shutdown. Now Panay's gonna use this opportunity to run down I Am Atomic. Exhaust invested. The Ixtal's impact from the Skarner to make it here. 7gen has to do this with a great Deadly Flourish, and the Scatter gets the kill. But now locked in is this Olaf, who tries to 1v1 King of Spades and gets absolutely demolished. Cancel the recall back. They do. Big stun though, catches the Skarner, but somebody needs to back Panay.
Still pushing.
Do it. But look at the cancels. Jellybean Jeff dodges out of the Impale. Can Zig get the kill? No, he just doesn't do enough damage. He shoots for peanuts, and it's going to be top lane inhib getting chased down by King of Spades. Bot lane already goes down. Can the Kane do anything about it? Curtain call used, gets one kill. Jellybean Jeff secures one. Is it enough to kill the fool? I don't think so. As it's just going to be King of Spades actually winning out on this 1v1. Panay's going to have to jump away, gets the knockup, and has to leave here. Nobody can take down King of Spades on the side lane. He is their one threat on the map, as it's going to be Mint Ice Cubes taking a bunch of kills mid, taking tier 2, taking tier 1 and doing a lot of damage to tier 2. But man, King of Spades going absolutely sicko mode on these turrets. In this 2v1, can they do it? He's healing up a lot from that Monsoon, and he's just gonna kill him with that damage. The power of the the Yorick just absolutely gaps them. Concrete Muncher popping the Ghost to try to chase down King of Spades. Look at the healing from that last rights finally through the Ragnarok and the Ghost. It's the King of Spades' Yorick going down, but the damage is already done here, True. Bot lane inhib and the tier 3 top lane inhib again. There's going to be 2 waves constantly pushing of super minions for Mint, and Faceless are going to use that pressure to get vision everywhere else on the map. They can threaten Baron anytime now.
Yeah, and I kind of want to scream here. Like, obviously, Pinay's healing is cut versus King of Spades because he had the Bramble Vest before that, has the completed Thornmail now. But my issue here is, like, you know that so much of Yorick's damage output is locked behind Maiden. But people so consistently just ignore the Maiden in these fights. They think, okay, I have the damage, I can just kill Yorick. And the honest answer is just like, no, you can't. It doesn't really matter what Yorick's scoreline is because King of Spades has been farming like a monster, constantly pushing these side lanes out. The fight might be breaking out.
Okay, we see a pick here onto I'm Atomic, who has to flash out. Good peel from the team. A great scout in the weak. Can Panay walk up and get that last Reaping Slash? They do. The Lantern's on time, but look at the bot lane. They need to protect the Syndra right now, who's trying to channel the base. They do manage to get it off, I think. Okay, they do manage to get back, and so does the Olaf. So it's now a 3v3 mid. Oh my god, look at the damage of King of Spades. They have to kill him faster. Unleash power, please, sometime soon. Jellybean Jeff finally uses it and gets the kill, but look at the damage to the base. That's already one Nexus turret down, and in mid lane, it's Devingen, Feral Eevee, and Fool forcing the fight. Great Event Horizon on Panay. Almost dies to that, the Primordial Burst, and is ticking down to that death stand.
Olaf is flanking.
Flank from the TP. Good curtain call. Now they're going to run down 7gen, who has to burn the flash, but look at the Stride Breaker. Look at the ultimate. The Ragnarok with the Hexblade gives him enough speed, and Concrete Muncher gets one. Now looking for the undertow onto the Fool, who gets rooted up by the Deadly First. Is there enough damage? Great Impale angle is not worth a damn thing. It's Jellybean Jeff. Oh my gosh, almost died and fails the flash scatter to try to kill Feral Eevee, who gets another root and blows up Concrete Muncher. Oh, great tough it out shield.
Look at the minions. They need to back.
That. But yeah, look at the base. The minions are absolutely wrecking house, and it's going to be them having to recall Frisky, trying to cancel the Thresh, and Feral Eevee. There's not enough time. I don't know if the minions are going to kill it, but I'm Atomic gets too close and is going to die to the Umbral Trespass. Now Feral Eevee doesn't have flash. Gets knocked up. I think this is a kill, and it's going to be Olaf making it back. So in the attempts to try to stop the recalls, Faceless lose both their members, but the base is in complete shambles. That is an open Nexus, and that is a Yorick whose TP is ticking down. It's going to be Mint, who have to play so defensively to not lose the game here. Thankfully, Feral Eevee is dead, and he does have the teleport. He's the only other person with the teleport, but Zig and Panay are going for this dragon to try to secure Soul Point, but multiple members of Faceless are moving here. This game does not stop with the action here, True.
Yeah, absolutely not. And as you said, the base is completely exposed. The only exception to that is that mid lane inhib turret, and inhib still up for the side of Mint.
They're really wanting to fight over this Dragon Soul Point, but I think it's going to go down before that. Big stun, but it's still secured by the Skarner. King of Spades is still pretty much unkillable. Ishtal's Impact gets the Fool out, and I think that was a wasted TP attempt because now Jellybean Jeff doesn't have that to get back to the base if that push into the base happens.
Such a thin margin between these two teams. So you're seeing actually pings.
Oh, Jeff gets the knockback, gets the Unleash Power, and one tap 7gen. But will that mean anything in the actual scope of the game here, True? I don't know.
Yeah, and like you can see that Mint, like they have to constantly keep at least Olaf. They need to keep somebody in base because those minion waves are pushing in. They know that Yorick and possibly at this point even Veigar, they want to play for that angle. There's the stun though.
Surely this is a kill. Yeah, huge damage from Jellybean Jeff, just absolutely eviscerates the Yorick, and he is very powerful, but he has no MR. So if it's Jellybean Jeff always clicking ulti on the Yorick, there's no way he can survive. But I mean, like you said, the pressure constantly from the double supers is so huge. Feral Eevee looking for the cage, gets the lantern out, and the double supers are still going to be flowing in for a couple minutes here. One thing is, I mean, that extra gold means that Syndra has 3.5 items. The Jhin, now on 3, finally gets the LDR, and they're going to go, oh my gosh, Mint going for a very risky Baron.
Yeah, I mean, this is a dicey play. Oh, wait, there's a nice hook. I don't think they're going to look for it because Veigar's not here quite yet.
I don't know how I feel about this. Feral Eevee does have the Banshees as well. Deadly Flourish whiffs. Zig, just again, shooting peanuts. TP still available for Concrete Muncher. King of Spades will be back up in 8, but doesn't have TP yet. But I'm not sure if Mint know that. They have to peel off the Baron, as it's going to be the side of Faceless just trying to push down the front door in the mid lane. Yeah, it's just going to easily secure the turret. I mean, the damage from the Veigar so much that anything that they touch with those autos just goes down in a jiffy.
Yeah, it just doesn't really matter because like Veigar is essentially at like one-shot status, right? Like you can hard one-shot almost anybody on the side of Mint. Probably can, honestly, maybe with the exception of today. But the other part of it is that if they even have a small fight win, Eevee can kind of just auto the Nexus 2-3 times.
Yeah, they see the Fool though, and all the inhibs are back up. They're gonna try to go for the Baron or at least bait it.
I mean, Concrete Muncher is kind of on the side of this. It's not exactly a beautiful flanking angle, but like it's just the other problem that Mint is facing because they can never truly want to commit for the fight if they know that King of Spades is pushing a side lane, and that's kind of what's happened pretty much at all points of this game. They've been winning fights, but they can't win the map. It's kind of something that's also defined the series. The Fool is so dang tanky as well. It's kind of hard to be wanting to like walk into them because the Skarner is just so hard to deal with. You can see the Edge of Night as well as the it's not the Banshee's Veil, it's the
the Verdant
Barrier,
something like that,
for Feral Eevee, and like that also keeps you safe versus the Syndra, versus the Jhin. So things have gotten increasingly annoying for the side of Mint because there are constantly things that they need to account for. There are constantly things that they need to fight into.
Oh, Concrete Muncher gets hooked, pops the Ragnarok. He's going to run on Atomic, who gets melted by Zig and the Olaf. The Fool now in a 1v4. The Root hits him. Concrete Muncher has the Ghost. The knockup hits on Panay. Is there enough damage to kill the Fool as the Chains of Corruption goes out? Panay gets gets stopped by the Suppression. Now Jellybean Jeff has to stop King of Spades by themselves. The two Nexus turrets have respawned, but Jellybean Jeff's dying to the ghouls. There needs to be somebody who backs. Jellybean Jeff cannot protect this by themselves, or else it's going to be a game end. Okay, the Olaf has returned. Jellybean Jeff now has backup. Going to scatter the weak. Concrete Muncher going to run at him. They just need an angle for one stun.
Wait, TP coming in. That's Veigar!
From the Veigar. Concrete Muncher has to back away. He has no Ragnarok. Jellybean Jeff gets
they're going to win.
For the last rights, and I think Eevee and King of Spades can end the game here. The TPs, the recalls are fast, but I don't think they're fast enough. Risky is here. Has the Monsoon. Can they stop the base from being destroyed? Panay flashes forward. A great Monsoon to stop the damage, but I think this is going to be Faceless ending the game here. King of Spades just needs one more auto, and they secured its Faceless, losing the fights, but winning the map and winning the grand finals 3-1 after King of Spades wrecks the base and wrecks house. That is your FPL season finals, baby, and Faceless are your champions.